What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. This would make more sense to do it like this. This is much more sensible. Hope you're all doing well this evening. I forgot to do something. Give me just 1 second. I didn't forget, but I'm gonna handle this accordingly. But I hope you're all doing well. I am your host, Ed Honcho. It is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to get to chop it up with you guys each and every evening. And I thank you for being here. If this sits a little bit better, how about that? And I thank you for being here. You can be anywhere in the world, but you're in the den. So we have some things. I still gotta figure out why. While it's on here, matter of fact, let me test this out. Let me dilly dally with the dilly dally, and try to fix this green screen. Y'all gonna see all the roughness in the back while I'm doing so. Because I got some shenanigans going on here. There we go. See how that looks. And I need to alter my green. Maybe I need to. Let me see how it looks. No, that was terrible. All right. No, that looked terrible. Trying to get the cactus head appropriately treated. No, I'm disappearing. The cactus head is there. I don't know. I'm going to have to take some time offline to figure this stuff out. But appreciate the love. Brandon335. Yeah, that's all kind of crazy stuff going on. Shout out to Sean and Tony. I appreciate the love. Man, let's see what we got joining us today. We're going to talk about whether or not a person without children can give sound parenting advice. And I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about some other things. Some things have taken place. I didn't even realize that there's been a couple of violent incidents. We may speak on those. I haven't honestly had time to kind of follow up on them. So, that's neither here nor there. But I see Culture, K Grace, 335, Rashida, Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? And Tulio, Shannon, for whatever reason, she's here. D the Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? Dakota in the building, INF Storm, what's the motherfucking deal? Kayshawn, what's the motherfucking deal? Shonda, Brenda, Sweetberry, the Pistachio Pit Bull is in the building. Let's see. Dre, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Glad you could join us this evening. Marquise, what's the motherfucking deal? That was your first time in the den? Be prepared. You're about to get your pistachio stolen in 3, 2, 1. Crass and Heartless, what's the motherfucking deal? Danny, what's the motherfucking deal? No, it's not a fucking weed hat. Because I don't know. Look, let him make it, Sweetberry. He ain't even been in the den long enough to build up any pistachios. Misty, what's the motherfucking deal? Big M, Big Mexican. Look, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm gonna let you make it. I'm gonna let you make it. Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal? Where's new Kenneth? I like new Kenneth better than I like old Kenneth. We need a nickname for to separate the Kenneths. When people have like the same name, we have to we gotta identify it. Cartier, what's the motherfucking deal? Hattie J, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Hey man, look, Jack, if I missed you, I ain't dish you. Let's get into some good conversation, right? Let's get into some good conversation. You've been replaced, Kenneth. That's what we're talking about. You're no longer relevant. There's a new Kenneth. And
Dan donated $5. This is me supporting black businesses. Shout out to Honcho.
Dan, the man. Dan, it's official now, right? And I appreciate the love, and I hope you're enjoying it. I know you said you had to make it through the weekend, so I hope everything went well and smooth. And prepaid, what's the motherfucking deal? And like I said, I hope you're enjoying your transition, man, into civilian life already. That's what I'm talking about. So I guess I wanna get into how this topic came about, right?
Colter donated $1. I salute you, bachelor sir, for you have given up the woman but kept the den. Taking was before his to a digital level.
Appreciate the love, culture. Man, the German voice. I want to test some of these other voices. I'm a fool with it later on, but appreciate the love, man. Yeah, man. You know, the den is what's in, man. Hey, Jack. You know what I'm saying? This is where it's at, man. You gonna be a hip cat. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it does. She does. That one sounds more French than German, though, right? I don't know. Who knows? But like I said, so I was talking to a friend of mine, right? A young lady, and you know, she's a single mom, and maybe it sounds different because I don't have the headphones on. It sounds like crazy for me. Just Sarah, what's the motherfucking deal? And so, you know, she has children, and the reason we were discussing something was about, you know, she, and I guess doesn't have, like most single moms, doesn't have much praise for the father of her children. And that's funny, you know. It's never, you never hear. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into that later. We'll talk about that later. But let me jot that down because you know I forget shit. But anyway, so apparently the boys are spending more time with the pops, and I was like, hey, well, that's what's up, you know, because sons need their father. You know, you can try to do everything you want to do, but you know, it doesn't matter. Well, you know, he's lied to him before, and you know, he did this, and so, you know, none of that really matters. You know, you're anticipating a bunch of negative. I just don't want them to disappear out of their lives again. You know, all of a sudden I'm like, you know, none of that matters. The fact they're spending time with him now is going to be more valuable than even if he does. They'll always have those memories. And so, you know, the sons need a father, whether or not, you know, you have personal issues towards him, you know, that shouldn't impact the way that they are. And the retort was something like, well, you know, I'm a parent, so I know kids, and, you know, you know, from someone who doesn't have any kids, you know, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, okay, well, here's the deal. I have a better understanding because I'm a son raised by a single mom, and even though I don't have, it was a while. You know, me and my dad are all right now, but you still have that longing for a father figure, period, point blank. There's nothing that a mom can do. You can sit here and you can say you've done all this and all that, and it is what it is. We've talked about this before. And so, you know, you can justify whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say. Those are your personal feelings. It's not going to change the way your son, you tell them all the negative bullshit you want to, it will never, ever, and so it will never ever change. I mean, it is what it is. You know, again, like I say, because I know from the perspective of those kids, you know, being young and, you know, what's up with my pops, man? What's the deal? You know, and having that established relationship at a younger age, regardless if he was kind of a shit bag or not, you know, it is what it is. You're gonna want to know where you come from. You're a boy. You want to know your father. Period. Point blank. If you're mama's boy, well, those are a different conversation. It just is what it is. So my thing is this, you know. My thing is this, and so that's kind of where I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, was I right or was I wrong? Well, I know from experience, so it has nothing to do with parenting in the particular conversation that we were having. But there are a lot of shitty ass parents out there. There's a lot of parents, and we can talk about 2-parent households too, that have shitty fucking kids, right? I mean, just have trash kids. Bad and Bougie, I agree. What's the motherfucking deal, Bad and Bougie? How are you doing this evening? And so, America's Funniest Home Videos. America's Funniest Home Videos was like YouTube before there was a YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So, all I'm saying is I'm looking at this and I'm just like, look, you know, and I may not. And that's cool. And maybe I'm making better decisions with my genitalia. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. I don't know the details and circumstances. I'm just saying. So my thing is, you don't know shit, Shane. Ain't nobody talking to you. But it's important for a son to have an understanding of his father. And once he gets older, he will determine whether or not, you know, hey, my dad was a good man. You know, he was there for me. He taught me something. Or he will determine, hey, you know, he was a piece of shit. He wasn't worth the fuck, but, you know, I don't fuck with him, or I did learn these lessons, or whatever it is. That's for a son to have those opportunities, you know. And again, like I said, I can't speak from the perspective of a young lady, but I do think it's important for young girls to have that father figure to set a standard in her life. Because when you don't, you accept anything, right? So, again, I'm just wondering, was I wrong for adding my input? You know, I thought it was. I think it's very important because I think they're right around that teenagers, preteenish age. You know, I think it's good for kids to know who their pops is, and at least be able to spend some significant time with them. So, and I'm looking at other factors, and again, I think there's other elements. Well, you know, if I've never raised an infant, I can't tell you how to burp an infant, what time to feed him, how to change him. You know, no. In that aspect, no, I have no place telling you the proper way. I cannot advise you how to handle that child. But there's certain things that are common sense when you've had the experience, when you've lived through it, that anybody can. You don't have to have fucking kids to be able to speak on it, right? I mean, again, it's just a life experience, you know. And I'm not the only person I think has ever said this, so it kind of is what it is. Kenneth, your team is still trash, man. Look, so it is what it is. Kenneth's finna play fullback and shit. So all I'm saying is, like, man, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't know if I was annoyed. I mean, I don't know. I got a dismissive vibe about it, like not saying that, you know, it maybe was trying to be dismissive. Well, you don't have kids, so you don't know. Well, I guess the fuck I do know. I think I know what lanes I should be stepping in and which ones I shouldn't. There's certain things, you know, I'll tell you, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Certain shit I just have an opinion on. I can't give you anything fact-based about it, but here are my opinions. Certain stuff I can give you facts about. And certain stuff, I'm like, man, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. I don't even want to entertain it. And so yeah, I got kind of annoyed at that response. Just like, you know, one, you came from a two-parent household, so, you know, your pops was always there. You had that stable family situation. You don't understand, even though you don't understand how a child who came from, you know, who was dealing with a single parent or a split or separated parent situation, you can't understand how they feel because your parents were always there. They're always been there. They will be there, still there. So you can't necessarily, just because you don't know how they think. You may raise them and try to figure it out and learn as you go, but never being in their shoes, you've had the stability. So it's different for you. So it is what it is. But everybody knows best. I'm just another nigga talking on the internet. So my thing is this, and I'm just curious if, you know, and another thing I was looking at too is, you know, I was thinking about the other way around. Like, you know, maybe parents who try to give new parents advice or something like that. And I'm like, well, are these parents only seeing the lens, you know, the I won't say rose colored because it ain't always rose colored, but, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, you're targeted in on your own experience. So you may have raised kids who had certain personalities, demeanors, behaviors, whatever. And so your parenting style had to be something much different, but you try to maybe apply that parenting style in broad strokes. So just because that worked for your kids, it may not work for these other kids, but you have some parents who think they know it all. You know, you have some pseudo parents. And what I mean by that, those are the people who swear up and down, you know, oh, I'm the greatest parent. But then the moment you get a chance, you know, little baby Susie at grandma's house for the weekend, you know, and you looking for daddy number 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever. So again, but yet, you know, these people seem to have a lot of advice, you know, but they're only there for the good times, for the certain moments. And again, I'm just wondering who has the say so. I mean, is everybody free to espouse their opinion on children? Should certain people stay in their lanes? And yeah, I think that's kind of where I wanted to go with that. Now, the thing I wanted to jump back to real quick was singles and significant others. This is something that I find very interesting, right? And what I mean by that is that, has anyone ever, fellas, I guess, would say more so than others, has anyone ever encountered a single mom, or maybe a chick who's just getting out of a relationship? Women, y'all don't get to speak on this. I'll let y'all answer the stuff about men in a minute, because y'all don't give women a chance to say nothing, Honcho. You always root for the men. You do the women folk bad. You don't let us say nothing. I'll let y'all say. Y'all be saying a lot. But have you ever came across a woman who admitted she was the one that did wrong in a relationship, in a prior relationship? It could be a single mother. It could be just a chick, who just got out of a relationship. Have you ever encountered a woman who has admitted that she was the one that did wrong in a relationship? Yeah, y'all dark skinned angry ones be just the angriest. Violent, angry. All of y'all carry knives, bad boots. You got a 6-inch blade on you right now. I know it. Your girl 6 voice don't fool me. I know what's going on. Look, it is, again, you can't put everybody under every umbrella, but stereotypes exist for a reason. A lot of people have a lot of common behaviors. That's why advertising companies do so well, because they have human behavior down to a science. You know what I'm saying? I was working on me. That's funny. That sounds about right, though, right? That's how shit goes, right? So my thing is, I find that very interesting, because I'm just thinking about this, and this is no offense to anybody. If this is your current situation, hey, you've made the choices you made. I'm not here to judge. We're just here to have a conversation, and everybody's opinion is welcome in the den, whether you agree or disagree. And when we open up the line shortly, if you don't like what I say, feel free to cuss me out. I might hang up on you, but I'll listen for a little bit. But my thing is this, because you can come across a chick who, has multiple kids, and they could be from multiple different fathers, but somehow all them niggas ain't shit. It's all of them niggas. You the common denominator, but all of them niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, really? Really? What's going on? Appreciate that, Miss Brenda. Thank you. I'll start dishing out y'all's pistachios here to say, I gotta do my rant, and then when I open up the line, I'll be dishing out pistachios. Stuck with all the questions. And that's why I say I find it funny that it's always them niggas. That nigga ain't shit. He wasn't shit. All this nigga little baby. You hit 3 in a row. I mean, that's shit. That's a jackpot. How you hit 3 niggas in a row that wasn't worth shit? You got 3 different baby daddies, and ain't none of them niggas worth a damn. Interesting. Maybe you're magnetically attracted to niggas who just ain't shit, or maybe you not shit, and you don't want to own up to your shit. Maybe you not shit, and that's why they don't want to fuck with you like that. That's why they don't stick around. So it is what it is. I think we're going to do the den debates on Tuesdays. I think Tuesday's a good night, because, Mondays you got Monday Night Football. Thursdays you got Thursday Night Football. And some folks, they going to watch football. I can't blame you if you're watching the game or something instead of in the den. I can't blame you for that. Sundays, that's confessions. We don't need to argue on Sunday. We need peace. Monday, yeah, Monday Night Football, so we don't want to do that. So it will come down to like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, or Wednesday. Sorry, I said I will get better on that. Let me make sure that I enunciate everything that I say, since someone says I don't read anything outside of my vocabulary, whatever that means. I guess that's green eggs and ham, if you will. But that leaves Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Friday and Saturday is the weekend. You kind of want to chill and relax. You don't want to be all volatile. So I think Tuesday's a good day for the den debates. That sound about right, prepay. Yeah, I didn't want to do it. He made me, violated me. Really? Word? You got that nigga name tattoo. He violated you into that tattoo too? You had a gun in your hand? Oh, okay. So yeah, tomorrow Tuesdays will be, because that way too, people, when we get the week started, you don't want to start your week off arguing. In the middle of the week you can get it kicked up. So Tuesdays we'll do the den debate. So if y'all got somebody y'all got some beef with that y'all need to settle, or y'all want to have a discussion with, make sure you need to call them out ahead of time. Make sure they be here Tuesday, or if they're in the den on Tuesday, you can call them out and whatever beef you have. And I'll try to moderate better this go round than we did last time. Last time, it definitely got free range, but it was very interesting. Some very interesting things took place. So, but yeah, and it's awkward. But again, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. But I guess the thing with, because you can say the same thing about, oh, well, baby daddies, they say that all they baby mamas are crazy. But I've seen much more of that, like with my actual eyes, of crazy baby mamas than I've seen, I mean, I'm sure some ain't shit niggas out there, but a lot of times, it's just, it's allegations. And, you never hear what you did on your behalf. But I've actually seen the crazy baby mama. So, it is what it is. Kenneth, when I was your age, I don't know how old you are. You're like 11 or something. I wasn't into those kind of things when I was 11. I was a good kid. Just terrible kids and horrible fathers. They can do no wrong. As far as the public knew, yes, I was. But in all honesty, no, I was not, Kenneth. I was on some major shenanigans. I will say that. I was on some major shenanigans. 16 going to 17, absolutely. Your comment, last comment you wrote is Sweetberry, goddammit. Challenge of Sweetberry. I can't go that far back. But, let me see what the hell Shannon talking about. Then we're going to get ready to open up this line here in just a second. What the hell are you talking about, Kenneth? That's not pimping. Okay, that's straight. Look, we told you, we trying to get you away from that simping behavior. You don't ever use the phrase "I love you" to try to get some action. That is lame. Okay, that's lame. That's not game. That's lame. Everything else is pretty much fair game, though. I don't know your damn. I don't know what you're talking about, Shannon. You got like 50 messages way back. Get in a relationship with no good niggas and they want to cry and they ask leaving. Shannon, you be encouraging them to stay with them thug niggas. You know what I'm saying? You be encouraging them to do that stuff. Yeah, don't use the "I love you" thing to try to get some action. That's some lame ass shit. That's weak ass shit. That is not game. If you using love to try to push to hit the emotional angle, you trying to use a cheat code. And here's the thing about that is you're gonna pay more in the long run, because then when you try to play it cool and she catch you out with some other chick or some other shit, but nigga, you told me you love me. Then you use that same lame game with the chick you with. Oh, what? He told me that too. Then they gonna fight each other, and one of them still gonna fuck with you. That's just how women do. But you gonna lose one of them hoes. But no, don't use that lame ass game, man. That shit is that shit ain't cool. Don't do that. Let me get ready to get the line up. I'll put the number up here in just a second, and let's get this party started, man. Whatever the number is. Bye. That's the number. We back to the regularly scheduled program. We ain't got to use the throwback number today. Hopefully everything is copacetic and on point. So there's that. I love chill, but I get another piece every day. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Look, that's the best advice Brian's gonna ever give you, man. Be honest. Honesty is the best policy. You will be surprised, because now, when I was your age, I won't say I was 100% honest with all of them, but I didn't tell any lies, if you catch my drift. So it was never know you the only one type shit. Now you could say maybe by omission or something like that. Yeah, man. You definitely wrap it up. I might have been deceitful by omission, but I wouldn't say that I lied. I'm not going to tell you I love you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I might have spent a little time caking on the phone when I was your age. So, yeah, there's definitely that. I won't deny that. I caked it up on the phone a time or two. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, it's me, Misty.
Miss Misty, how are you this evening?
I'm okay. I was just gonna address the part about you said people with no kids.
Yes, yes.
Um, well, I think I feel you on what you're talking about. When you say being raised being raised without a dad, you can talk about it this way, but you can. I mean, you have experience of it that way, but when you say parenting advice, do you mean like? Let me ask you this. Okay, so one time I was in Walmart, and my son is like he's about to be 20, but he was about 3 or 4 years old, and he wanted something, and he was one of those kind of kids. It did not matter how many times you whooped his ass, he still came back. He was a strong-willed little booger. I don't know if you've ever seen them kind, but it's kind of like you would spank them, and 5 minutes later they're right back at the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I started changing my method just a little bit on what I would do. So he got really upset because he wanted something in Walmart. He was old enough to. So I took him out of the buggy and I stood him, where I was, right there on the floor, and then he proceeded to lay down on the floor and act like a fool. So I just took my buggy and I went on. I just let him lay there. And so then, I went to the next row over, and I could look between the little thing and see him laying there. And then he raised his head up, he looked around and he was like, Mama, but this lady, she came up to me and she was telling me, you shouldn't ever leave your kid. You shouldn't do this, or that or whatever. But I was looking at him and I taught him a lesson because it scared him, because he thought, well, if, Mama's going to leave me because I'm acting this way, there was some more explanation to him than that. But it seems to me like there's a lot of people that are out here that, will tell you certain things about how to raise your children, and they don't even know you. Like, for example, the woman came to where I was, and she was like, why did you just leave him laying on the floor like that? And she started to kind of mouth off at me, and then next thing I know, I'm doing worse, because I got her over the corner going, bitch, don't tell me what I need to do with my son. I know exactly how to take care of my child. My child was one of those you can show him better than even spanking him. Like the time, anyway, in the Walmart thing, she was telling me what I should and shouldn't do and all this stuff like that. So I told her to get away from me, because if you don't, it's going to be something else. But see, Trey never pulled that again. And then another thing I was talking to my husband the other night about, there was another time where Trey stole something. And, he stole this little card thing, a little prepaid card thing, but it wasn't a prepaid. It wasn't actually, activated or anything. He just picked up the thing. So I turned back around and took him right back to the spot where we were at, where he picked it up at the store. And I made him go in and give it to them and apologize. And all the way there, I'm telling them about how the police can take you to jail and all this stuff. Do you know that boy has never stole anything else in his whole life? I scared the shit out of him. And different ways like that, too. And another thing he did was he took his little Nintendo DS. This is a long time ago, so people probably don't know what little Nintendo DS things are, the little handheld game system thing. Yeah. And I had bought him a brand new one for Christmas, and he took it. He had taken it to school or something and gave it to somebody else or whatever, traded for something, or whatever. And so I got him in the car, and I said, Trey, get that piece of thing you got right there, and we're going over there, and you're going to let the boy know that you didn't have permission to do that. And I embarrassed the shit out of him, is what I did. I embarrassed the shit out of him because he had to go knock on the door, get his thing back, get his Nintendo back, and say that he lied, and all that kind of stuff. So that, I'm not like, I think it's real dumb how they get on YouTube and, show that, like, embarrass the kids or whatever, on YouTube. That's probably just for clout. But I mean, like, I really did this stuff for real. Like, and then I would have people tell me, don't do this or don't do that. But see, nobody knows your kid like you know them. And mine, I know, was hard-headed. And I know that with me and my husband, it's always been better for us to, like, show him stuff, you know, and when it scared the shit out of him, then it stayed in his memory. You know, I would actually do something to let him kind of really know. Like, I took, one time he had toys all spread out in his bedroom. I took them all and put them in a plastic bag. I took them out, you know, and he really thought that I threw them away. I didn't put it on YouTube or anything, you know, but he really thought that I was getting ready to throw them away. And so a lot of things influenced him. But also other things that I did, like we had 2 little kids that died with cancer. And Trey wanted to go and pray for them. So I took him up to Children's Hospital where one of the little girls, Emma, was, and she was dying of cancer. And my son, he wanted to pray for her. So I took him up there, and we did that. And a lot of people were really impressed with Trey because, you know, I mean, he prayed. We would go somewhere, sit down, you know, he might pray over our meal. He's yes, sir, you know, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, all these things because I taught him all those things. But had I listened to some other people some people just kind of jump in there when they really don't know you or your child, you know, and they start to tell you what to do with your own kid. And nobody really knows the kids like you if you're the parent, you know. I don't like no nosy bitches trying to tell me what to do or, you know, what to do with my kid. I mean, he's almost 20 now, and I still would whoop his ass if I needed to, but I mean, I would, seriously, because there's certain things, you know, I mean, I know he's gone right now, but he was still living under our roof. So as long as he's here, you know, there's a lot of things he's going to respect. Like, you know, like I say, if you're going to be later, you call. If you're going to be this way, you call. Like, I don't play. You know, I've raised him to be like, it's going to be this way. There is no wiggle room in there, you know, and you're not going to be able to like, Mama, please, please, please. No, if I say no once, damn it, I mean no. And that's it, you know. And so basically that's what I'm saying. I just, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but if you feel like, and ultimately, you know, people are going to butt in no matter what you do. People always have fucking opinions.
But it's okay, like, for certain things. Mm-hmm. But, Buddy, my mother-in-law, I don't know if it... Now, my mother-in-law, like I said, you know, they didn't have anything against Richard marrying me, you know, and I'm white. But I think sometimes, and don't say this wrong about black people, please don't. But some of my black friends would often think, maybe at times would be like, oh, I know you probably didn't get on to him or whatever. But then, like, if I had people around me that really saw what kind of mom that I am when it came to Trey, and then the kind of young man that he is today, I've never heard, I hate you, or Mama, you're a bitch, or any of those things, like some of these kids cuss their parents out. Mm-hmm. I've never gotten told any of those things. If he thought something like that, he thought it in his head. He never brought it out to me. He's always been very respectful. He may not like what I tell him, but he's always been respectful. And the reason why is because my husband, you know, was doing a lot of working. I was working too, but I had a lot of the time with Trey, you know, in the younger part, and the older part, Richard's been, you know, there more too. And so he's had the best of mom and the dad. But my thing is, like, you know, when I told him something, I meant it and I stood by it, and there was no other compromising. You know, you can't talk me out of it, whatever. I'm going to take your car keys. You can ride the school bus for the next 2 weeks, you know. And I did that shit.
That's cold.
You know. Yeah, I mean, you know, especially when he's a senior in high school, right?
Yeah.
He's 17 and he's a senior in high school, and his little ass is getting on the bus. Really not little. He was 235 pounds, but little old me, you know, he was scared of me because the reason he was like, Mama, he said, Mama, you're crazy. That's what he always used to tell me. He would say, you know, and I mean, you know, I would tell him, I would say, yeah, I'm crazy, and I can get a whole lot crazier. You know, I threatened to, like, you know, I'm like, Trey, I said, the next time, because he got in trouble, went to the school for something. He walked out of class. I don't know, forget what it was, you know. I told him, I said, when they call me and I'm at home, I'm coming however I am. If I'm in my Mickey Mouse pajamas, I'm coming up there. I'm going to whoop your ass all around the school, and then I'm coming back home and getting back in my bed.
You go up there with your bonnet on?
Huh?
Do you go up there with your bonnet on?
My pants? What?
Your bonnet. It's a it's a joke. Never mind. It's a joke. I'm just joking around. Because there was a thing in Houston that some teachers and parents were going up to the school and they had bonnets and robes, and so the school had to make a new rule to stop the parents from coming up there like that.
Oh, yeah, no. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because they do be coming up there looking crazy, don't they? But no, it's just that, I think sometimes on that other end of it, and that is a very good point, that if the other people maybe that don't have kids, or maybe their kids acted a certain way, because whatever works for one kid doesn't always mean it's going to work for another, You have to figure out what's going to work for your kid and do it, and so I went through everything until finally I figured out he's the kind that I got to show his little ass that I mean what I say, because the butt whooping he would get his butt whooped, and that was all good and fine, and he would do that, but then, it didn't really influence him. What really influenced him the most is when I did some real cutthroat shit, like take all your stuff and throw it away, or, you know what I mean? I mean, like, really do something to show him when I tell your ass something, that's what I mean.
I got you. Miss Misty, I don't mean to cut you off, but we got the 10-minute rule on, but like I said, I appreciate you getting the den started off and, sharing your thoughts on it. But I agree with you, hey, you only know your kids, and I think, like you said, certain things are accessible, but mostly you know what's best for your children, and outside influences are kind of, their opinions are irrelevant.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you for calling, Miss Misty.
Okay.
All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho.
Hello, Miss Bell. How are you doing this week?
Waiting patiently.
Okay.
Maybe not so patiently. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. I need to give you a lot of credit.
Okay. Why is that?
The fact is because you might not be a biological dad, but you're stepping up to the plate and you're trying to raise a child. And that takes a lot of credit. Not every person would step into a ready-made family. And
were you here for the end of the den yesterday, Miss Bell?
I'm sorry, what?
Were you here at the end of the den yesterday?
Man, I'm telling you, I fell asleep.
Okay.
I told you, the allergy pills, they slapped me right out like somebody having about 60 drinks.
Yeah, well, I shared a little bit. There was a little something in my confession I shared at the end of the den yesterday. And that situation has kind of changed up a bit. So, but I thank you for the compliment. But things have kind of changed in that department on my end.
My condolences.
So, no, it's no big deal. Like I say, it's all good. It is what it is. It's a mutual situation. So, it's no big deal.
Well, what do they say? You like it, I love it. I'm happy for you. I told you I'm old school.
Yeah, it's all good. It's definitely all good.
But the thing is you know what? Because of the fact that you put some time in and you helped, I think that you could give valuable advice about the child or the time, age, or the age group of the kids that you helped raise because you had that experience. The question that then is would you take advice from somebody that doesn't have kids? Yeah, I would take advice from somebody who had experience raising kids, even though they may not have been their own, whether they were nieces and nephews, whether or not they were cousins. You get kids that start babysitting at 13, but might not even have their first child till they're 25.
I agree with that.
I had more babysitting experience in raising kids before I even got to be a parent. Now, would I give that to a brand new parent? Probably not. But if somebody said, hey, have you ever had experience like this? I'd say, well, this is what I did. Now, I wouldn't ask somebody, okay, I have a twin sister, and I think I've told you guys all this. She's just very normal, but she's never had children. She decided not to have kids. Now, every time she's given me advice, because she doesn't have kids, I was already 5 steps ahead of it. I respected the fact that she was trying to help, but I wouldn't have asked her for advice because she's not ever had that at any length of time. Now, had she been experienced to be around kids for any length of time, been a teacher, worked in the healthcare field, I probably would have done that. And I think sometimes those are the people to ask, who have that experience but might not be parents. It's going to be a little on the idealistic side. I don't know. I didn't even get a chance to really listen to what Misty was talking about. But because I'm trying to focus on the fact that, sometimes there are, and you know what, you get sometimes parents who have a ton of kids, and they're horrible parents.
Yeah, I agree.
Pardon me for being judgmental, but, when you've got 18 kids, it's like the kids are raising themselves among their own.
Yes.
Because you've got one parent that just keeps popping them out, and you get the rest of them that's trying to support each other with the housework and the chores and everything else that goes on. When is that really a quote-unquote normal family? When you get the older ones raising the younger ones.
And those kids...
and guess what? That's how they learn how to raise kids, is by raising their siblings.
Do you think that people who are kind of in those situations, do you think they tend to delay more when it comes to having kids after, having to raise, younger siblings mostly through their childhood? Or do you think it makes them more likely?
I think that they probably have a better scope on what real parenting is, because they were kind of forced to do it by wherever they were in the birthing order. The oldest one is going to have the most experience, and the youngest one is going to get all the gravy, as they say, because they're not going to have to wash diapers behind them. They're not going to have to clean toilets because they're the last one.
Yeah.
But it's the first one who's experimented on, and usually, let's see if this works. And you know what? As a parent, I will tell you, what works with one child doesn't always work with another. But I don't know, that's kind of what I got. And, I've kind of figured this out. We are a family. We're dysfunctional, but we are a family.
I was thinking about the den earlier today. How we tend to say, hey, we're a community. We're definitely a community, but we're probably a hood, because there's a lot of violence that goes on in the den chat. People get abused, people get annihilated, violated. But hey, we keep coming back and we keep enjoying each other's company, and I appreciate all of y'all. But no, I think I do appreciate you. Like I said, it is like a family. Even though we may not too many of us know each other, but it's always good conversation. It's always enjoyable phone calls. And like I said, I appreciate y'all. I really do.
You know what I got to say, though? I honestly have to say, I think the women, we're more upfront than the guys tend to, how do I say this nicely? They know that when we're in for a spat, they'll step back. And I've seen it in conversations. It's like if two women are not gelling right, the men will step back and just kind of let us ask it out. Because they're like, we're not going near that. We're smart enough to stay in our corner.
Yeah, they don't want no smoke, Mike. Things happen when women have tense conversations.
But you also give us a voice and allow us to be dialectical and have differences of opinions and still everybody be okay.
Yes.
And that doesn't always happen, and that's an awesome platform to be able to see happen. And today I felt like one of those senior people that was handshaking everybody in the Walmart, as you come in. Hello. It won't happen all the time, but it was like, oh, hey, wow, this is pretty cool because I was actually early today. And stop picking on Shannon. She wants to be early. Let her be early once in a while, okay?
She got to earn it. Shannon got to earn it. Shannon came in here talking crazy yesterday.
You know what? You're right. She got to earn it. But let her have a goal, okay? Don't blow her dreams. I've only been once first in the den line. Now, we won't discuss the phone line because y'all know how I know how to burn up some minutes with that. And kind of on that note, I'm just going to throw my usual shout-out to Sister Grace. I'm not sure if she's back in or not. And I'm just going to see how the ball of the night rolls with this one.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Miss Bell. Class is in session. The bell has rung. And I appreciate you sharing your thoughts.
All right, night, Honcho.
All right, good night. I think the point about the kids having, been in that situation is very interesting. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Dan, man.
Dan, the motherfucking man. How you doing? Dan, the civilian man. How you doing, Dan?
Oh, man, a lot better now, bro. I'm going to tell you something, man. Oh, well, by the way, look, I just want to appreciate everyone in Dan for giving me, love and, appreciating me, being able to be done with the military because I don't know about a lot of people, but people who have served. I know Antolino. I don't know if he's in the chat today. He did a few years in the Marines himself, and the Marines is rough, man. I don't give a damn what job you did. Just the physical requirements alone are just rough. Running 3 miles, not to mention all the gear, and waking up at 4 in the morning in a PT. It's insane, and it's so much respect to him and anyone else who served. And just thank you. I appreciate that, Honcho. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Dan, man. Like I say, that's the sacrifice that you made, man. So we definitely respect that.
I got you. And I didn't get hemmed up this weekend. I know you mentioned that earlier. Hell no. I stayed in the house, bro.
Yeah, okay, good deal, good deal. I was like, sometimes temptation can get the best of us. I was like, man, make sure Dan all right, man. I know he right there around the corner. I've seen crazier things happen, but I said I'm not doing that. Dan's a stand-up guy, so he ain't gonna blow his opportunity when he's that close.
Oh, hell no, because I was at a hospital for a few months, my last few months in Navy, and I done seen some horror stories about just some of this shit, the physical, mental issues that people have to go through. I know one guy, like I told you, that guy he was about a few months out, he OD'd, survived, but he's getting kicked out. That's one of the last things I said. I was talking to him the last day I was at that hospital. I was like, hey, man, look, bro, just think about the next step. I mean, you got to bounce back from this. They're not going to give you any benefits due to the way you get discharged. So he literally has to start over. And it's sad 'cause he's not a bad guy. And that's a lot of people that shit happens to. But what can I do? All I can do is care about myself, and that's what I've been doing my best to do. But you got to try to help people when you can. But it is what it is. So thank y'all once again, Honcho. You the man, bro.
Already, Dan. Hey, like I said, so what's the next step though? What direction are you heading now?
Well, I already got accepted to a college back in Virginia where it's sane, so I'm just waiting for the Navy to send me. Yeah, I'm just keeping it around in California, a.k.a. California, a.k.a. New Mexico. I mean, it is what it is, And shout out to Latinos. It is what it is. I'm just ready to go home, man. I ain't been home about 2 years, and these people out here are crazy. I just seen it was Sunday. I remember my friend was driving me. We were going to get some food real quick and go to Target, and there's just some homeless dude passed out like 1 in the afternoon, middle of the street on Sunday. And everyone's just passing him by, looking at him like, what's wrong with this motherfucker? He only has like on some shorts on. And he's laid out on the concrete. I was like, what's wrong with this dude, man? What's wrong? And that ain't the first time I've seen that. I mean, I'm gonna get onto the subject. I'm gonna make it real quick. The subject that about the giving people advice with kids and stuff like that. But just this California thing, man, this homeless shit is ridiculous, bro. I seen one lady. This was like my 2 weeks before I got out the Navy. I saw one lady. It's like 6 in the morning. I'm about to catch my ride, and then this one lady, she's like, I guess giving herself like a white bath or whatever. She's like wiping herself off next to a trash can.
Damn.
And no, I mean that's not the worst part. So I'm just looking at her like, God damn, like it's a rough city, man. And then all of a sudden, she starts pulling down her pants and shit. I saw her ass and shit, and start washing down the area. This is 7 in the morning, bro. I'm done here, bro.
Yeah.
I just want to go home.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
I just want to go home, man.
Yeah, at least you try to keep clean, I guess. I mean, I guess that might be better you say for some. I don't know, man. It's just people with showers and shit in their homes that don't use them. So, I give her E for effort. That's unfortunate, though, man. It is rough that people go to Cali. I don't know if they're looking to achieve a dream or what it is. They get there and end up being deceived or disappointed, or I don't know what happens. But it's tough. You hear a lot of those stories, man. It is really sad.
And you're right. What ends happening is they have this dream, all this Hollywood bullshit, and something happens in Atlanta. They come on a bus, broke, full of dreams and wishes. Then they leave on that same bus, broke, full of regrets, and they might have HIV at the end of the day. Yeah, it is what it is. I ain't bullshit, man. Look at the stats, bro. You know I'm about that stats, man.
Right. No.
Look at the stats.
Oh, that's a hell of a bus ride back, man. Oh, shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. But okay, my bad, y'all. Sorry. On the subject of giving parents advice when you don't have kids yourself, I've been in this situation. Like I said, I got 2 nephews and a niece, and I've seen one or two things, like the way some of my brothers might discipline their kids. It's not a borderline abuse, but I think it might be a bit too rough. But you know what? Those aren't my kids. Yeah. I tend my business. I might check up on them after, like, are you doing all right? You know, little kid crying, like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, okay, man. You want a peanut butter jelly or something? I just don't like seeing kids hurt, you know what I'm saying? Because I know my brothers and I went through a fucked up childhood, like probably most of us. Just keep it real, you know. And, you know, but at the same time, that's their kids. I love them. I take care of them as much as possible. I've done a lot, even from miles and countries away. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not their legal guardian, much less their actual parent. Yeah. So I'm not going to step in and give them advice. There might be some things that disagree with what the mothers do, you know, and my brothers might disagree with some of that stuff, but I'm not going to tell her how to raise her kid. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my position. However, there's 2 cases I thought of where, you know, you were doing the right thing, but, you know, I mean, even if you might not have had kids. Like, there's a story about 8 years ago. It happened in Philadelphia. And I'm going to be honest, this is a hood rat. Took her kid on the bus, this public bus, you know, like the SEPTA system, whatever it's called. Or, her kids run up and down the aisle. She starts spanking her kid. And a random white guy, and I guess the race might matter, he says, hey, lady, don't be doing your kid like that. Now, there was no, the story says she was cursing her kid and stuff like that, too. At the end of the day, I don't think I'd get involved because I've seen that shit before. Y'all have seen hood rats discipline their kids in public, beating the shit out of them. You little nigga, little motherfucker, this. That might have been what's happening. I don't know. I wasn't there. But the white guy stepped in and said, hey, lady, if you don't calm down, stop treating your kid like that, I'm going to call the authorities on you. Yeah. She gets mad as shit. And some of y'all heard of the story. She gets mad as shit, say, okay, I'm going to handle this shit. She calls 2 thug niggas.
Man, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yep. That was her cousins. They show up at that bus stop. When the next bus stop there was at, one of them niggas had an AK, the other had a pistol. They shoot the bus up. Amazingly, no one died. Amazingly, no one died. And she got 5 to 10 years. Them 2 ignorant Negroes got 15 to 30 years, all over an argument about how to discipline their kids. So, obviously, 2 things. It wouldn't have happened if she would have just said, you know what, fuck you, I'll handle my kid where I handle my kid, and not call Roscoe and Pookie to shoot up a bus. But also, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Also, if he would have never gotten involved, that never happened either. So I think in a public setting like that, someone you don't know, you should just leave it alone, man. Unless you see this kid's life is in clear danger, then that's a different story. But if she's disciplining her kids, don't agree with the way it is, then you know what, just move on. That's all. You can't save everyone, and sometimes that includes children. And that's sad to say, but here's the thing, though. Speaking of children who were never saved, Malia Davis. Yeah, back to her. Now, I know for a fact that some of her family were trying to tell Malia, especially when she had that head injury, not long before she died, you need to take this kid to a hospital. Her own mother told her that. Yeah. That was her mother's had children before. And you did some reports in this, Honcho. Yeah. People were telling her, yeah, whatever you're doing, stop doing it. People called CPS. I'm sure there's CPS investigations. I assume there were. And even if you know the person could have not, some people just not take that advice, and you can try your best, and then the worst will still happen. Such is case in point with Malia Davis. Yeah. And when are they going to charge that bitch? I mean, Brittany is a fuck her, bro.
Man, the way it's looking like, I'm at this point. If they haven't taken her in yet, I wouldn't be surprised if she walks scot free. I know, everything is kind of on old buddy right now. Like I said, I'm still curious about how this whole thing played out. But she definitely, she put it, like you said, the fact that you don't know she's faking or whatever she said. Because I remember when I was looking at that the mom had to come home from work and tell her that this child needs to go into the hospital. I think she was having seizures or something like that. And they talking about she's faking. Yeah. What 3-4-year-old at that time when it happened, who fakes like that? They don't know that. That's come on, man. And it's just like, she over there getting high or whatever. And again, I'm not talking about anybody smoke weed. I smoke weed. I'm on a hiatus for quite some time now. But there's a point where you have to snap and say, hey, look, something ain't right here. Especially being a mother, like she lacks that you women folk always talking about women have the motherly instinct that dads don't have and all this. Obviously, she was lacking that, and it took the grandma to come in. And it's just like, man, some kids are born into an unfortunate situation, just no win for them because the system is designed a certain way. Some people say, oh, CPS needs to take them, but then other people, well, CPS is horrible, and so there's no winning for CPS, and then. The kid right there, like you said on the bus, he took a loss because now he's probably in somebody's system because his mom was already treating him like shit. So he's just kind of born into a bad situation, and that's my thing too. And I'm glad you said that, man. And this is why I say, because I was talking to my hairdresser the other day, and we were just talking about some things. And she's a smart chick. She's a hood chick, but she's smart. But she just she got hood tendencies, and she likes the hood. So it is what it is. And so she was just talking about something, and she was like, well, if I go somewhere, I'm finna find a project. So I got to get into some shit. I say, you can have that shit. You can have that shit. Like you talking about leveling up and doing all these things. She's doing all right for herself. And I'm like, if you have that mentality, it's not gonna work. Because she's like, well, why you stay so far away? I'm like, man, because I know if I'm around niggas, it's a certain type of energy you have to deal with niggas, and the more niggas that are around you, the higher the percentage of you get into some nigga shit. So I'd rather stay out of the way. It's good for my cortisol levels. I stay less stressed. And I don't have to worry about me doing something stupid because somebody wants to react a certain way, and then I'm end up in some shit because, because somebody smudged your Puma or having a nigga moment like the Boondocks or something. So I'd just rather be cool, man. I minimize that shit. I minimize all the nonsense, and so so I minimize all the nonsense. I just avoid that shit. Like it ain't nothing to gain and a whole lot to lose. So that's just how I am.
Yeah.
Man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna hold you out too long after this, but it just when it comes to disciplining kids and people. Okay, now some of the advice, here's one thing. I'm gonna give a piece of advice, and I don't have kids, but this is sound advice, and this is to you, woman. Y'all be careful who y'all bring into your homes. These dudes y'all dating. Every other story, it's mom's boyfriend that killed somebody, or molested somebody, or raped somebody, or permanently injured somebody. One other story I heard. This little girl was getting molested. Mama's boyfriend, of course, some thug nigga with arrest records for assault and all this other shit. He probably had a library of previous charges. That's how that shit is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and this is a very sad story, but look it up. I'm not making none of this shit up. The older brother, when he's a little kid too, I think she was 7, he was 8. I don't remember exactly. Tries to stop him. This dude kills the little boy with a hammer. And then beats up the mother. She's permanently injured. She got a missing eyeball and shit. And the little girl is still injured from all that. They finally caught this idiot. I don't remember whether it's that, but look up little boy beaten to death with a hammer by mom's boyfriend. I promise you, that's the advice anyone can give. So just because you in love and shit, that don't mean shit. Love is just the word. Like I said last time. Okay, you have to have. I guess discernment, like the Holy Rollers say, you have discernment and know who you bring into your home, man. That's good advice for anyone, bro.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Thank you. Oh, my bad, Honcho. What were you about to say, sir?
I was just saying absolutely because you hear that story too many times. I mean, it happens over and over and over again. Mom, especially new moms, have little kids, or even if they have young girls, you hear this story. And that's why I say, even with the situation I was in, I was just like, look, I want you to always ask her, always question her, like I say, because I'm not worried about it, but I mean, my thing is, you put your child first. No matter what I say or do, you should always put your child first, because, it's a lot of wild motherfuckers out here. You don't know me. Well, I'm going to say at that point, you knew me a little bit better than a hole in the wall, but, with all these stories,
right.
I'd like, hold me to a standard. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Hold me to a standard. And she would check and, she would ask and all kind of stuff like that. And so, of course, it's never going to be an issue because, like I say, one, I don't understand motherfuckers who do that type of shit. But two, it's just like, it's you hear these stories, man, and it made me, I don't want to lie, it made me like nervous. Not that I'm afraid that I'm gonna do something, but it's just like, man, it just sometimes you hear all this stuff, and then kind of being in a situation similar to that, it seems awkward when you hear story after story after story after story, you know, and just makes you wonder, do people look at you that way, or you know, whatever it is. Like I say, I know my character and I know what, you know, how I'm handling the situation, but it's just, you just never know because you hear these kind of stories, and so I mean, I question a lot of stuff, but it is what it is, you know.
You absolutely right, man. You got to be careful. I remember, and after this, I'm about to, get off. But I remember I was in Japan, and we were doing some little charity festival or whatever, a little charity event. And I remember someone's daughter randomly came up to me. I was working popcorn, making it for the kids. You know, Marty loves the kids and all that shit. And yeah, I get a reference. Respect to Martin. So this little girl comes up. I need to go to the bathroom. And I look around. There's like a bunch of older women over here sitting, talking about whatever, and just people walking around and everything. I'm like, why are you asking me? Probably because she thought I was a nice guy and I was giving her popcorn. Yeah. And I'm like, let me find your mother. Where's your mother? I don't know. I was like, oh, Lord. Okay, let me find some random older woman and ask her to take this little girl to the bathroom. Because I am not taking I wouldn't even take my niece to the bathroom by myself. Hell no. I'm like, where the hell is your mother? You ain't about to have me on a charge. Now, I've never thought about doing anything like that, and I never would. But it don't take much to get a man hemmed up on some sexual allegations.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be cautious because you don't ever know who you're dealing with, because you've seen a lot of, just as much as there are, those who are guilty, you've seen a lot of innocent people get caught up on a lot of foul shit, too.
I heard a guy this is one more story. I got so many stories about this kind of shit. And this is one other thing. So there's a story. A man did 20 years in prison for molesting his kids. Here's the thing, though. His kids were coached by their mother, his ex-wife. He was a police officer, actually, lost his job, and then got sent to prison. And then another cop who was sleeping with the ex-wife and knew how to, I guess he was like an investigator detective or something. So they found a way to coach the kids to lie about this. And the kids later thought about it, and went to psychiatry and everything, like, our father never did this to us. So they managed to get him out of jail early, or he did his 20 years, and they did his best to absolve him, and I think he got a settlement. I hope he did. Because, look, being a child molester in prison is damn near a death sentence.
Yeah, basically. Wow.
So, I mean, it's just, yeah.
But then nothing happens to the people that orchestrated it. They walk scot-free.
Yeah, ain't nothing happened to her. No, hell no. That's infuriating, too, man. But let me get off the line. I ain't trying to hold y'all up too long. But, yeah, shout out to Den. Thank y'all for, just wishing me well. Like I said, I got a long way to go. I have plans I'm working on, like going back to school for IT. The whole STEM fields and things like that. And I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal. Fuck that. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to do well, not just for me, but for people I love. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be my driving force.
Yeah.
And I think everyone needs to find someone they love or someone they care about, and push for that. Yeah. Especially if it's your kids or your niece, especially kids, man. That's the main thing. Try to take care of these kids out here. But, yeah, when it comes to advice, I would just say, unless that kid's life's in danger, just stay out of it. That's all you can do.
I agree. But, man, like I say, you find you, and that's like I say, because the kids, man, you just want what's well. I mean, if you're genuine, you want what's best for the children. And so you're not doing, most people I think are being genuine. They're trying to be helpful. But sometimes you just got to know where those boundaries are, where, hey, you know what, I don't want to be a habitual line stepper. This may be none of my business. They may know what's best, or this may be a place I have some input that is valuable. So I think you just got to be aware of the situation, too.
Yeah, Honcho, that's real shit, man. Yeah. But, hey, Danielle, have a good night, Honcho. Thanks a lot, man. Right, y'all take care.
All right, Dan. Appreciate the call, man.
Thanks, dog. You too.
All right. And, man, with the story that he mentioned with the thing, because I remember seeing the video of it too. Y'all niggas, I'm not gonna say y'all, 'cause I don't think there's any niggas like that in the den. I don't think anybody. There's some niggas in the den, but ain't not like that.
Coulter donated $1. Good call, Den.
But it's niggas who run HEB in Seven Lakes. I don't even know where Seven Lakes is. But you already know what HEB stand for, so I'm gonna take your advice. But my thing is this, man. My thing is this is like, niggas who, I guess, niggas get caught up. That's why I say I guess I have caution. It's caution when I talk to people. Again, I have to look at their mentality, their character, what they stand for, certain things. Because it's niggas who will run behind these hood rats, these hood roaches, and sometimes their mamas was hood roaches. And like I said, don't know what's going on. It'll go shoot up a bus, throw your fucking life away. For what? For something that ain't even happened. Because for somebody else who was in the wrong. Look, man. Choose wisely. Make better decisions. What does HEB stand for? Hoes everywhere, boy. Yeah, HEB got all the hoes. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta know. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Professor Trio, what up, Honcho?
Professor Trio, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind this evening, Professor Trio?
Listening to Dan's call, which was the best ever, by the way. Good job, Dan. I just remembered this scene. I've never watched the show, but I remember that scene from Blackish. Mm-hmm. And I know you know what I'm talking about, where they was going to get on the elevator, and there was a little bitty white toddler in the elevator by themselves. And they was like, oh, hell no. I turned around and hit the stairs. And so he got up there, and they was like, well, why were you late? He said, man, there was a little white baby on the elevator. What do you mean? By herself? And they was like, yeah. Did you tell anybody? Hell no. I ain't say shit. I hit the stairs. And he was like, well, where's Rodney? Then he come up in there huffing and puffing. He said, man, I'm sorry I'm late, y'all. There was a little white girl in the elevator. That's when I laughed. Because I thought about it. I'm like, man, in this day and age, if you was to pick that child up and bring her to the lobby or some shit, people could see that shit in a whole wrong light. Like, you can't do that in your shit now. Yeah. You can't. Man. It's like you got to really, really protect yourself.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. It's some decisions I make often that I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds, or I'm going to go this way, just because it's just so you do have to be cautious, and again, it's to the point now, though, because especially with, I don't even think it's just race-based, it's just this generation we in where, because everybody on that bullshit, so it's like, you got to be, like, I'll be honest, like, I'd be hardly, if I'm at the store, like, I don't really be in areas around women too much. Like I said, I'm very cautious of how I handle my interactions with women in public. Like, it just depends on, the setting. So of course, certain places you have to, but I'm extremely cautious about that. Just because I'm not trying to. I don't blame the Wall Street Me Too crowd. I'm not going to do no one-on-ones. You're not going to hit me with no nonsense. I'm extremely cautious about how I handle things. We're not going to misconstrue anything. We're not going to misinterpret anything. Mm-hmm. Make sure my words are on point so that you can't say, well, he said, you didn't say that shit. You lying, bitch. I want to look, because if I ever got to defend myself, I want to feel extremely comfortable being able to be disrespectful in my talk, knowing that I'm innocent.
Thank you for your service, my Jiggers funkelndes Herzgesicht mit Freudentränen, Gesicht mit Freudentränen.
So I know that I'll be safe. So I just be cautious, man. I'll be like, man, look, I don't want no, I'm not finna do it. Women, y'all don't realize how easy y'all got it, man. Y'all are allowed to do all kind of shenanigans with no repercussions. Because what do people say if you do that? Oh, she just cry out. Women, they crazy. It is. It's dismissed. And shout out to AB, because I was listening to AB podcast and he was talking about this, and it made me really think about that. And it's just like, women are allowed to be crazy. You're allowed to be crazy. You're allowed to do things that men are not allowed. And it's fine. It's not like I'm tripping. Oh, women just get to get away with it. I'm tripping on that. But y'all don't have that burden of
the stigma.
Yeah, the stigma. Yeah, the marriage. Like you there's no. If you do it, it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's just her. She'll be all right in a little bit. Or it's dismissed easily. But if niggas start to do that shit, it's a whole bunch of stick that's going to, one, probably stick with him for life, two, land him in jail, and it is what it is. So so that's why you have to be cautious. Because say if I'm in an aisle, right, or if I'm somewhere, and a woman just come up and grab on you, and you try to report it, what's going to happen? If you report that to the laws, what's most likely going to happen? I appreciate the love.
They're going to look at you sideways.
Yeah, they're going to look at you sideways. They're going to laugh at you. Did you get the number? Or say something crazy, smart alecky. But if it goes the other way, you going to jail now. You know what I'm saying? And so you just have to be you have to be cautious about everything you do. It's a different standard between men and women. It just is what it is, man. So, you know, man, you've heard crazier stories. I mean, you heard the little boy, he's a sex offender now because he gave a classmate a hug. The little nigga's 5 years old, and a fucking sex offender because he gave somebody a hug. That's the world we live in today, and I'm not giving anybody the free pass, the opportunity to hit me with the okie doke. That's why I operate like that.
I hear that.
Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts though about?
You can't even.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said you can't even give compliments nowadays.
No,
that shit could be misconstrued like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just on the job thing. That's just out in public. Like, say for instance, you meet somebody, or you know what I'm saying, you kids and shit, or you walking your dog in the park, and this lady it's her and her daughter, and they walking their dog, and you see them, and your dog is neat or some shit, and you're like, hey, how you doing? Hey, cute kid.
Yeah.
You know, to you that's just innocent. But then, what you mean, cute kid? Like, they can look at you funny. Like, why you looking at my daughter like that? Like, she's a fucking child. What you mean? Like, you like, oh damn, nah, yeah, it's just, you can't say shit like that no more. Now you got to just completely not even acknowledge the existence of that little motherfucker just so you could just go on about your damn day and walk your dog. It's crazy.
Yeah, but then you're an asshole because you ain't saying that. So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You cannot win. You know what I'm saying? You can face jail time if you do, and none if you don't. Yeah, so you just face a little scrutiny, but you live to be free another day. So it's exactly. Man, that's
tough.
Yeah, it's super tough. But speaking of kids, have you ever offered some advice to someone with children?
Yeah, my best friend all the time. But as aggressive as I am, and plus she's my goddaughter, so
okay,
you know that gives me a little leeway, but you know, of course, not much. But I will normally phrase it more in the form of a question, because like the lady, one of the first lady callers, I forgot her name. I'm sorry. She said that the lady just approached her and told her, "You shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do this." If the lady would have asked her, like, "You just left him over there. Like, what did he do?" And then you'd be like, "Oh, he was trying to throw a fit, so I left him right there, and I let him see what he was doing." And they'd be like, "Oh, okay." See, when you ask like that, man, it changes everything, and especially the tone of your voice. That makes a difference. That makes a difference. But if it had been me, and I would have seen her walk around the corner, I would have just looked at him. And then when he got up and looked around, I said, "Hey, man, you messing up. You better get it right. Your mama don't play with you. You better stop." And then I would have just kept going about my business. I wouldn't have confronted her at all because she's parenting the best way she knows how. Yeah. People just got to stop judging people just like straight out like that. Now, if you just see somebody just doing too goddamn much, like, I'm sorry, even if it ain't my kid, I will whoop your ass. I don't give a shit if you her daddy, her mama, her grandma. I will fuck you up if I see you just fucking over a kid like that. Yeah. Like, come on. Yeah, and the main thing, parents, you really have to watch what you do and or say in public. Yes. Look, I understand it's rough raising kids. I do. You know what I'm saying? I can sympathize. I've never done it myself. I babysitted my little brothers growing up. They was with me most of the time more than they was with my parents. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a fact. It sucks. I just realized that, but that's a fact. But I don't consider myself their fucking parent. No. Not in the least bit. But you just got to be careful what you do and say in public, man, because people could take that shit. You could say something and not mean it a certain way. Somebody could misconstrue it, and then it just turn into this whole big old shit. Now you got the laws in your life, CPS coming to your house, everybody is going all through your fucking business, and it just turns into a nightmare. If you're going to discipline your child, the best bet is to do that shit in private. Yes. That's your best bet. Don't put it on the internet for everybody to see, or your ass going to jail. Just handle your business. The only people that need to know about that lesson is you and your fucking child, not everybody else. Correct. We don't need to know. All I know, I just don't want that little motherfucker to grow up breaking up in my house and trying to steal my shit. Then me and you gonna have a problem.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. If you over there body slamming your kid into the damn, the meat freezer and shit, that's the problem. But motherfuckers do go way too far. And I think what you get with a lot of parents too, and again, Depending if you're a hard worker, but what you got going. Some of them, they take other stresses and let that shit build up. And then they take it all out on the kid. It may not. The kid may do something, and they have intensive discipline. They just taking all that other burden and stress out on that child. And so you got to be cautious of how you doing things. I think sometimes you gotta be self aware of how you handling the child, and if you're really punishing that child for his actions, or if you're punishing that child for your frustrations. And so it can be you can be a thin line.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why these kids need both their goddamn parents. Because one parent shouldn't have the responsibility of raising the little motherfuckers by themselves. Sometimes you need a fucking break. Seriously. These women out here, they need a fucking break. They do. So if these niggas need to put like the fuck you supposed to do, you busted that nut, you take care of that motherfucker. That's how it's supposed to go.
Straight up. I agree. Whether she problematic or not, you got to figure out a way to make it shake.
She wasn't problematic when you was bouncing up and down on her, now was she?
Nah, she wanted that shit too. She wanted that shit too, goddamn.
Oh, I'm not excusing them either. Trust and believe, but in this instance,
no.
I call a spade a spade.
Yeah. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than between the two of you. It's like saying once you create that additional entity, you gotta handle it.
It's funny you said that because my cousin, all the time, every time she'll call me, I'll be like, "Hey, cuz, how you doing?" She'll be like, "I'm doing fine." And then my next question, how the girls, how the kids? Yeah. And she's like, "Well, goddamn, what about me?" I say, "Fuck you. Once you have kids, it ain't about you no more."
Exactly.
Straight up like that. I come to the house, I'll be like, "Hey, cuz, how you doing?" Give her a hug where the girls at. Like, damn, you don't want to talk to me? No. You done for. You a lost cause. Jim, I can help. I can't help your old ass.
That's fucked up.
And sometimes I think she be low key offended, but she know me, and she know them girls love me, and they love talking to me. So it's what it is.
Yeah, it'll be like that. But I mean, yeah, because again, like I said, kids. I guess I don't know. Maybe it reminds us of the innocence that you once had before life applies its methods to you.
Yeah.
And so you got to appreciate that. You got to nurture that. You want kids to be able to have that for as long as they can. I think that's the thing that pisses me off. I guess when you hear these stories and these things, it's just like, man, when people take advantage of kids, it's like, look, I ain't no killer, but that shit makes me want to hurt somebody. Like these individuals, it's just like, man, these kill them now. Don't even waste time entertaining them more. Actually, don't kill them. What's the word I'm looking for? Make them suffer. Make them suffer a little while. Then let them, remember that suffer for a little bit. Then kill them. Don't just let them, get to walk around just doing whatever they do. Make them suffer a little bit. Torture their ass a little bit, and then you execute them so they can fuck their head up a little while, just like they did to them kids. Them kids got to live with that shit. That's the shit that bothers me. Like we don't take into account,
forever.
That these kids have been violated, they've been traumatized, and this person get 2 or 3 years and go on about their life. So that's.
I just. It's like what goes through your mind? Like, what would even make you even conceive the fact that that's okay in any way, shape, or form? What the fuck wrong with you? Like,
that's why I say it's
I don't know.
It's crazy because that you have these people pushing for some of this shit too, like to legalize it. Shit, like y'all are predators. I mean, y'all are predators in the world. If you're trying to legalize some of this shit too, you're a predator in the worst way because either you're immature minded or you're lacking in a certain way, or you're just trying to take advantage of somebody because you ain't capable of, maintaining an adult relationship or whatever the fuck it is. But you got a lot of these people who try to justify having these young ass relationships, and it's disgusting, man. Like I don't.
Fuck that. Like Prepay say, get you some money and pay you a prostitute. Fuck that shit. That's what she here for, to get fucked. So there you go.
Straight up. But it is what it is. That's what I say. I'm honestly. That's what I say. People say I'm tripping. I'm not against legalized prostitution. I think it'll alleviate.
Oh, not at all.
Certain problems, and then shit, they're doing it anyway.
They need to legalize weed and pussy all day long. Goddamn right. Shit.
Yeah, everybody gonna have no problem. Shit.
No.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Hey, speaking of legal pussy. Shannon, what was that lady's name that you were talking about a while back?
Hey, you better slow that motherfucker down. What's wrong with you?
It was some lady you said that you found out she was a lady of the night as you got older. You know.
Oh, oh,
Ruby, yeah.
oh.
I remember saying something.
Speaking of something like that, I used to work with this older chick,
Mhm.
and you know how like Honcho, you know what I'm talking about. You know how like you get this older chick, for her age they look good, but you know goddamn well when she was in her prime,
Yeah.
she was a bad motherfucker. She was one of them,
Yeah.
and so I was just like, okay, and like the whole time, my homeboy had kept telling me, he was like, man, you gotta watch yourself around her. I'm like, what you mean? And he was like, man, she'll try to suck you in. Suck me. I'm like, nigga, what is she? Like, I just kept ignoring. One day, this bitch straight up propositioned the nigga. I'm like, what? I mean, I'm talking about on the job. I'm like, what? She was like, you, a big fella like you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even charge you that much. I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, I have never, ever felt so uncomfortable in my fucking life. Like, I thought he was bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he wasn't bullshitting, cuz.
Man, but is that a hustle? Can you respect that ground if you have a job and you hoeing? You know,
it is. I mean, I ain't gonna say I ain't look at her because I'm like, damn, I really wanted to know. I'm like, dog, I wonder if she got like I want to see what she looked like back in the Gap because she was like what, late 40s, early 50s, but she was still relatively pretty, you know. She had a bunch of wrinkles and shit, but she wasn't, you know, just a terrible looking lady. But no, it's like, no, that's not my flavor. You just a little, you know what I'm saying, a little past due date for me. You know what I'm talking about? But it's just like, damn, like sometimes you man, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And when I looked at her, she was a real nice, sweet lady. She was cool as fuck. You know what I'm saying? She was hip. She knew all the, you know, the little dances and all the lingo and shit the young niggas was talking about. So, you know, I'm just like, okay, you know, she one of them. Nah, nigga, she was one of them.
Yeah,
it fucked me up.
And that's why I tell y'all, look, I love ladies. I like her. Hoes be on. Hoes gonna give you the most game. That's why she hip. She up to date because she in the mix. And she gonna be 100% real with you. That's the thing. You gotta respect. You might not fuck with it, but you gotta respect it. Like if they straight up with you now, if it's on some old shady old bullshit ass shit, now you ain't, you know, it could stop the nonsense. But if you know a genuine real live, and this is why I say what I say, they will give you the most game. And I guess you could differentiate between a hoe and what some people would call a slut. Slut just seems like a dirty word to me. A slut is just a hoe that don't get paid. It's just I don't, you know, I'm gonna be honest. Like I know some sluts, but I just rather call them hoes than sluts. It's like, dirty slut. It just you know, sound infected. But that's
a very denigrating word. It really is.
Yeah, it just sounds bad. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, even though they hoes, there's some hoes out there that don't get paid in the sense, but I'd rather just call them hoes than sluts. But yeah, man, you know, they gonna keep it 100. They gonna keep it real live, and you'll be surprised. Like I say, I've gotten a lot of game from some hoes I knew was hoes, and not necessarily pros, but hoes. But they gonna be 100 with you. So I have no issue with that, man. You know, it is what it is. That's funny. we went off the rails.
Oh, always.
Man, so something.
God damn it, that's what we do.
Exactly. So I asked something earlier. I'd like to know your thoughts. I saw your answer there, but I'd just like to hear your thoughts. You know, while you're on the call, have you ever in your life heard a woman take blame for a relationship gone bad?
You can't ask me that, Honcho. I told you that shit.
Well, I'm asking you.
Remember, I told you that my brother told me that shit, and I was like, I thought about it. I'm like, I have never heard that in my life, not once. And I know a lot of females that have a bunch of relationship problems, and it has never, ever been their fault. It's always something the dude pushed them into doing. Or forced them to do, or he did this, so then I did that. It's a retaliation thing. Like, no, you didn't have to do that. How about you just break up with the nigga? Yeah. You chose to do that, so that's on you. Don't put that shit on him. That's your choice and decision. But yeah, very familiar with that.
Just Sarah asks, when was the last time you picked up a lot lizard?
I've never picked up a lot lizard. She got me all the way fucked up.
Leave the lizards in the lot if you want to keep what you got. You said
And you got to watch them too because they be underage like a motherfucker out here.
damn, I thought it was
Yes,
one that
sir.
was down bad out there.
Nope,
Beaver
not
says,
always.
is it only white women who get offended by the word cunt? Yes, that is a scientific fact. That a black woman gonna laugh at you. You call her a cunt. She's not gonna find that offensive. But if you call a white woman a cunt, that's World War III. Like
Yeah,
if you want
to fight to the death.
Yeah, if you want to see a white woman get activated, it could be the nicest, kindest, sweetest, most polite Sunday school teaching white lady you've ever known in your life. You call her a cunt. Oh, she is going down. She gonna get down just like LaQuanda with when the weave and the wigs and shit come off. She gonna be ready to scrap. That shit that's a fire starter, man. That shit is a fire starter. That's I didn't think it was a thing until I synced it, and so I was like, wow, I thought this was a joke, but white women get very angry over the word cunt. So. You know, it's not universal. It's I've never seen a black woman even respond to cunt like without a smirk or like what the fuck is that? You know, not saying like they don't know what it is, but it don't have that impact. You know, like other words. You know what I'm saying? Miss Belden confirmed it. That's all y'all need to know. It's a terrible word. I don't know. That's interesting to me. I wonder why. I wonder where the origins of that start. Like who
I don't know. That's a good question. Like, was that sharp or something? Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you now, bitch.
Triff, cut somebody off in traffic, man.
Nah, I'm backing into this spot, and it's a small ass area right here. I had to get real close to another truck, but I got it now.
Okay. No, I don't know, man. I have no idea, bro. I just know it's a thing. Like I don't know what it is that I don't know what sets it off. You know, I don't know what it's just like it's that I don't know if y'all remember. I don't know how many y'all watched Ren and Stimpy when he told Stimpy not to push that big red button, and they pushed that hoe anyway. That's the big red button, and this shit gonna set everything. It's gonna blow everything up. So yeah, I don't know. Nothing else. Anything else you can hear the Blakers. You have anything else that's on your mind there, True?
Oh no, I'm good. That's all I had, bro.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. What part of the country are you in today?
I am in Salinas, Kansas.
I don't even want to know. That sounds like a place you better be careful at. See, any roads or anything, you know.
Nah, it ain't that bad. Ain't shit in Kansas, bro. Ain't a goddamn thing in Kansas.
Man, I had a good friend tell me an interesting story about a trip. They stopped at a gas station in Kansas. They was like, man, I think we walked into a Klan meeting or something. We was in there trying to find somebody.
It depends on what part.
Yeah. Like,
if you on the main interstate, you good, but I wouldn't venture too far off the main interstate. I know what he's talking about. It's kind of like the hills have eyes in certain areas of this motherfucker.
Yeah, man. He's like, I don't know. I went in there and everybody it was a group of them. They was all huddled up, and then they all turned and looked at me. I was like, I'm just trying to get some gas and get up out of here. Shit. So,
I've had that. I've been in a few places that I've realized I was the only person with an excessive amount of melanin in the place. And it's only been a couple of times where I felt uncomfortable because you know how, like, you walk in, you open the door, and you can hear all the chatter, and then by the time you walk past everybody, it dies down to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
So you like, oh, shit. Let me get my shit and get the fuck up out of here. Oh, sir, you want something? No, let me get that to go.
Yeah.
Straight up, yep.
You expect to hear that little record scratch? Like, oh, shit.
Oh, hell, man. If that shit ever happened, I'm about facing, bro. I'm going to the truck. Straight to the truck. Let me get the fuck up out of here.
Yeah, that's what it is. Shannon, like, here's my thing. Because I see, Shannon, you've been posting some memes about Kansas and Missouri. Both of those places are terrible. Neither one is better than the other. We don't care about your legal weed. We don't care about your Chiefs. They're terrible. And then you're going to call it punk-ass Kansas. But ain't you in Kansas City? So like, what is the difference? I understand the states are different, but it's basically the same shit. So it is.
Well, actually, Kansas City is one city. Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas is the same motherfucker.
Really?
A lot of people don't know that because I didn't know. It's one city, but it's just across both borders.
Oh man, it fuck the entire city. So I already know. I've never been there, but I know niggas from Kansas City, Missouri are beefing with niggas from Kansas City, Kansas. This beef, I guarantee it. That these niggas have beef.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Just because niggas got to do it. If the north side, the south side did it, if the east side, the west side did it, niggas on blocks from each other did it. Niggas are beefing. If you from Kansas City, Kansas, and you from Kansas City, Missouri, niggas is beefing. I guarantee it. I just know it. I have no idea. I have no one that's proven it or provided me any facts on this. I just guarantee it. I'm willing to bet whatever on it. Just because that's what niggas do.
I'll give you one that's worse.
What's that?
And I know you've heard of it, Texarkana.
Yes.
You know why they call it that?
Because it's in the mix right there, right? Huh?
Because it's in Texas. It's in Texas, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
I didn't realize
it's across 3 fucking borders.
No, shit, I didn't realize.
Yes, that's why it's called Texarkana. Yes, that's a fact.
Okay. See, I thought
like one side of one street is Texas, the other side of the street is Arkansas.
Wow. And
it's called State Line Road.
Yeah,
some weird ass shit across this country. I don't know what the fuck the people was doing.
Look, you gotta watch both your sides now. Niggas gonna get to tripping from every angle. You got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild.
But anyway, that's my call. Let me let somebody else call, and I just called in because it was dead.
All right, well, that's a bet, man. Appreciate the call, Professor True.
All right, Honcho.
Already. Yeah, so you can't be in places like that. You know, that's dangerous. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Yo, what's going on, Honcho? This is Kenneth F.
Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, man?
This whole parenting thing, I just have a couple of points to make. I'm gonna make it really swift.
Okay.
To begin, I'm the type of person who will literally put my own self at risk, my own safety at risk. Politely check or educate another parent when raising their child out of love, because I've been that child. So that kind of hits me when I see another child being mistreated by their parent. Growing up in a small town in North Carolina, like with 12,000 people, I've been around bad parenting every day, living there. Mainly single parent household, mainly in that town. Excuse me, from women calling their children stupid, dumbass, your ugly ass, black ass, nappy headed ass, just like your worthless father. My grandmother even told me one time, you're going to end up just like your drug addict mother. These people say things like this, and these are women. And to go off your point with no accountability, and their children see this. So when the children see that this woman has no accountability, they're automatically going to follow that same footstep, which why I'm totally against single parent households. So I have a sore spot for the children because, as I said, I was once that broken child. Growing up in very traumatic households. Back in the day, kids used to have to go in the room when adults were adulting in the house.
Yes.
But nowadays, children are up under the adults in the house with other adults, smoking weed, drinking, shit-talking, gossiping. They're literally under the kids, so they witness all of that. Me personally, I told you guys before, like, my mother was addicted to drugs and alcohol for 30 years. And out of those 30 years, I've never seen her actually do the crack. I've seen the paraphernalia around the house. I've seen, milk carton handles cut off. And I'm like, as a child, why the fuck can I not pour my milk straight? Like, where are the handles to the fucking milk carton? You know, like, who's cutting off the handles of the milk? I just can never understand.
Damn.
Seriously, I just could never understand, like, why I have to hold the gallon of milk with both hands and not use the handle. And then I see, like, one end is burned off, and I'll see some aluminum foil wrapped on the other hand. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, I'm a kid, you know, I'm trying to figure out, like, what is this? You know, but as I said, I never saw her do it. I've seen it, you know, stuff in the bathroom, you know, things like that lying around, but I've never seen her do it. Now, I did have to, you know, spend days, I'm the oldest of 5, so I did have to spend days cleaning up her throw up and her this horrible house. You know, the kids were the slaves, basically. I had to raise the kids. They were always a baby. So while she's out drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm, you know, in middle school raising her children, feeding the babies and birthing them and changing diapers and bathing them and feeding them. You know, that was a regular thing for me until CPS stepped in. And so that really hits home to me when I see things like that. When I see, you know, videos of parents just treating their children horribly. I saw a video of this mother. She was like literally beating her daughter like she was this chick on the street because the daughter told her that the boyfriend was molesting her. And the woman was like uppercutting this child, like uppercut. And there was a guy recording, and then there was another woman beside it, and they were just letting it go on. And after like 5 minutes of the beating, the mother asked, now, tell me again, did he molest you? Did he molest you? And the daughter's like, yes. And I'm like, okay. And then she beat her again. And I'm like, so the child is getting her ass whooped. And now you're asking her to tell the truth with blood running from her face and everything. So if the little girl was lying, I mean, I would hope that she would be at this point, if it's blood running down her face, I would hope the child would be like, okay, I'm lying. But she said, yes, he molested me, he raped me. And she said, no, he didn't, you're lying. And just kept punching the girl and punching. The girl is on the ground, and no one broke it up until the video just stopped. You know, that truly, like, broke my heart. Like, that is just so sad to see that all for some dick, you know. And the woman, her titties was falling out of shirt. They're outside. Yeah. Big ass titties falling out of shirts, stomach hanging out of pants, nasty, filthy looking, you know. And it's like these children, they see the mother getting berated by these men. They see their mother crying from being cheated on and beat on. But then the next day, they also see that same woman who was crying and berated and getting beat on and cheated on. The next day, she's giving that same man the big piece of chicken. And then the child gets a chicken leg. So what does that say to the child? You know, it's very horrible. Like, when I was younger, like, when dude was talking about the whole prostitution thing, like, that touched things for me, because on my 13th birthday, my mother, she's like, oh, I'm going to get my friend to suck your dick. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm 13, you know, and I'm like, you shouldn't say those things to a child, you know. And, yeah, it was just really bad, man. I have a cousin, her daughter was molested by her husband. And instead of checking her husband and kicking her husband out, she kicked the daughter out. Mm-hmm. And the daughter went to go live with my mother, a drug addict. You kick your daughter out of the house for saying she was molested to be raised by a drug addict. I mean, what a way to go, you know. It's truly sad, you know, and I living in that small town, I saw things like that all the time. It was wow. It happened all the time, and I just cannot be quiet. So, many people really didn't like me because of that. Because either I say something or I'm just not going to come around. So if you want me to come around, then don't do those things or me say something about it. It's not a good look. I saw another video of 3 women jumping a substitute bus driver because the daughter went home and told her mom the bus driver hit her.
No.
So, but when they reviewed the tapes, the buses have cameras on in the bus. When they reviewed the tape, it showed that the daughter was actually beating up and bullying other children, and the bus driver told the child to separate and sit in the front. And the child was actually hitting the bus driver. So she totally lied, and they jumped this woman. And this bus driver is an older woman. She's a substitute driver. That was her first day driving that route, and she got jumped by these wildebeest. Fucking wildebeest. And there was a man out there too watching, recording. And I'm like, bitch asses, like a bunch of bitches out here. I mean, you're a man, you're supposed to stop this, and you're recording it. Everybody wants to be Insta famous now. And at the risk of humanity. Yeah, I think it's sad. I do agree that many women don't suffer repercussions for their actions, and that is why they're able to continue to. And I'm not speaking to all women. I'm talking about the women that I've seen. That's why they continue to be trash, and their family line is a line of trash boxes. As I said, back in my hometown, you have the grandma. She's out on the porch drinking, smoking. Her daughter's doing the same thing. Her granddaughter's doing the same thing. I have a classmate of mine. I graduated in class of 2004 from high school. And my classmate is a grandma.
Whoa.
Fucking 33 years old, man. She's a grandma. She had her child in the 7th grade. She had her child in the 7th grade. And her daughter had her child in 11th grade. Her sister had her child, the oldest sister had her child when she was in the 8th grade. And all of these women allow the mother to raise their children, the same mother that parented you when you were pregnant in the 7th and 8th grade. So it's a continued cycle. If you look at the statistics in my hometown, the teen parenting rate, it remains steady because of the family line. It's not newcomers. These are reoccurring acts of the family line in my town. As I said, just seeing things like that is a sore spot for me, because when I was in middle school and high school, I attempted suicide 3 times due to household issues. So that really hits home for me when I see kids just being treated any kind of way. They're like a cash cow, if you will. And these women treat the men like they're fucking king of Zamunda, when in all reality, they should be treated like bruh man from Martin. Literally. Like, I just don't get it. And it's all, to me, the only benefit is to have a piece of dick laying beside you at night. I mean, that's the only benefit, because these men aren't contributing to the household. They're coming into the house, eating their food, eating their food, the children's food, from the government, like food stamps and things. It's this woman in my hometown. She's a year older than me. She's 34 years old, and she has 8 children. and she lives in the project. She lives in the biggest apartment complex in that project in that town. 8 children, and her 17-year-old daughter just had a child, so she's a grandchild. So that makes 9 children in that household, and all of them still live in that government housing uh, uh, project. I mean, it's just really sad, man. I also seen a video of an adult woman. She was in church and she got the microphone, and people were thinking that she was going to do her praise and worship, but instead she said, "Hi, I'm here to say that I am molested by X, Y, and Z." Her mother stood up and shouted, "She's lying! She's lying! She's lying!" And then the child, she's crying. She's like, "No, I'm not lying. This happened to me. Blah 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 blah." And then the woman, the mother, she's like, screaming and shouting. The men in the pulpit, they then take the microphone away from this girl and escort her out. And I saw someone comment earlier about, the churchgoers, they have so much discernment, but they're not discerning what's going on in their household. So that reminded me of that video that I saw of, and all of these are black people that I'm speaking of, because those are people that I was around.
I definitely made the assumption.
I'm sorry?
I said, yeah, that's definitely the assumption I made, just because it just sounds like, and I know folks get mad because we have certain conversations in here, but it's about being hyper realistic, and sometimes reality is not comforting. But the solution to me is either separating or cleaning up the situation, and you got to stop embracing encounters with people like this. You got to stop encouraging a behavior like this. Y'all niggas better stop laying up with women like this. It's a lot of things that we have to do to improve, man. It's crazy because a lot of things that you said, we can play the game of the 6 degrees of separation. And I know people like this either 1 degree away or 2 degrees away with a lot of these same stories that you're telling. It's really sad that that this is a thing, and it's just like almost everybody knows something like this. But it's unfortunate, like
Right.
you grew up directly in it.
You're right. And my mother, she told me 3 times, 2 times sober, 2 times drunk and high, and 1 time sober, that her father molested her when she was a kid. And she said that to my grandmother one time when they got into an argument. And my grandmother's like, "You're lying. You're trying to make us look bad, blah, 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 blah." So they always had this volatile relationship since I was a child. My mother and my grandmother always, like, physically fought. My grandmother would call her a bitch. My mother would call her a bitch. They would throw VCRs and TVs at one another. Very volatile. And on the surface, one was saying it was due to my mother being a drug addict and being an alcoholic on the surface. But when you go underneath that, and you pay attention to things, I threw my grandmother a surprise birthday party. My mother and we threw her a surprise 70th birthday party. And it was well received. She loved it. It was beautiful. She's never had a party before. No one's never showed appreciation like that before. Even with that volatile relationship, my mother still seeks their approval. My mother's mother and father are still together to this day, and they're still in her life. My mother lives in my family's farmhouse, which is my great grandfather had a farm, and this was passed down to my grandfather, for which my mother resides in. So my mother is saying this thing about her father, even though he's still in her life. He's not dead. They still see each other on a regular when he comes in town. So last year, my mother wanted to plan a surprise birthday party for my grandfather, his 70th birthday. And instead of my grandmother being receptive, like she was receptive to us throwing her a party, my grandmother was very negative about it. And she's like, I'm not letting her do that. I'm the wife. That's my husband. I throw him a party. And I'm like, why would you say that? And when you get to thinking, and I get to thinking about what my mother said about being molested by my grandfather, and I'm like, why would my grandmother say, I'm the wife? That's my husband. If she did not know deep down inside something happened between her husband and her daughter. But when I say on the surface, one would think the hatred would come from the drugs. But when you dig further down, it looks like to me it's because my grandmother knows that my mother is telling the truth about her husband. Yeah. So that goes along with being silent. And when you speak truth, they hate truth. In my household, when you spoke truth, it was seen as being disrespectful. No matter if you said it as quiet as a church mouse, you were still seen as being disrespectful if you said anything with truth to it. And my grandfather, I commend him for being a hard-working man, having a trucking business and waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and being the first one out there logging, being a log truck driver. I commend him for that. However, I look at him as one of the enablers of my grandmother's behavior, because he doesn't check her. And as the man of the house, if you don't check the woman, who will? So my grandmother has allowed to go on decade after decade after decade with being a toxic individual to her daughter and not being checked. My grandfather's solution to my mother is, well, I didn't have a good relationship with my father, so you don't have to have a good relationship with your mother, and it's like, damn, like, you're enabling bad behavior, dude, and it's like, that's what continues the cycle. If these women aren't checked, how will they change? Because if a person on the street can't check her, if her friend can't check her, if her children can't check her, if her husband can't check her, who in the fuck can?
That's interesting. Here's the deal, Mr. Kenneth. Like I said, I don't mean to cut you short, because there's a lot of stuff you're saying that I agree on, and you've actually I've jotted down some things here, because you've come up with a couple of topics that we're going to venture on here in the near future. But I got a couple other people on hold that I want to get to chop it up with real quick. But I appreciate, like I say, man, I know it's not easy to share a lot of things, but I appreciate you for sharing a lot of the intimate details, of your childhood and these things with us, because, like I said, I think a lot of people here can relate to that, and I think it brings up a very interesting conversation about a lot of things that we really do, that we need to discuss, some things that we have discussed, some things that we need to bring back up and discuss again. But like I said, I just want to let you know I appreciate you sharing these things.
For sure. No problem, man.
All right, Mr.
Take
Kennedy.
care. Thanks for that.
You have a good evening. Now, a lot of very interesting things that were said there, and we'll take a couple more calls, and I'm gonna get to them here in a minute. Just a couple of things that I want to touch on. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What's good, Honcho? It's your boy Dakota.
All right, Dakota, what's on your mind, man?
Nothing much. As far as the parenting thing, so, man, I don't mean to be talking about my brother, but my brother is one of them people that's like, This the same dude that slept with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
So he got three kids, and he be trying to give parenting advice, and I just really don't fucking listen to him because my thing with him was I'm literally watching you be a deadbeat in the house. Like, I have never seen that shit until him. But our little brother has no kids. He raised, to be honest, he raises our older brother's kids. And he has a lot of sound parenting advice, even though he just had his a year ago. So with that being said, it's like, if you I can take advice from you if you don't have kids, only if I can look at your life and see that you make sound decisions. I don't give a fuck how many kids you have. It don't make you a good parent. It really doesn't make you a good parent.
And that's the thing. I think that some people think that too. The more kids they have, it just makes you good at either popping them out. That's just because you're good at doing that doesn't mean you're good at getting them prepared to exist in the real world. And so a lot of people, like I said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I'm saying, it's just again, it's almost it seems like some of the people that, and let me make sure I phrase it. I won't say just because people have a lot of kids that they're not doing what they don't know what they're doing, but as was mentioned earlier, like when Ken was just talking about, you have a lot of people who will pop out a lot of kids and swear they're up and down they're good parents, but they're loading those responsibilities off onto the other children. Basically, they're not ever having a childhood, but they'll swear up and down like say they're good parents, or they're not teaching the kids anything. You got them. To me, the goal of quality parenting is to make sure your kids, the next generation, is better off than you were, to be more informed, to have more resources, to have more access to things than you did as a child. Now, technology takes up a part of that, but the rest of it is training. The rest of it is working and, like I say, generating, gathering resources so that these kids can have these things. But a lot of people just think, well, if I pop out the kids, I get the government resources, that I'm doing a good job. They eating, they got a roof over their head, and that's just kind of, it is what it is. And so I think a lot of people don't understand what it is. Just because you see your kids every day doesn't make you a good parent. Just because you are in their life, it's what type of presence are you in their life. You can be in their life and be a fucking terrorist. Or you could be in their life and you could be a guidance counselor, whatever it may be. So I think people get the surface level shit, but they don't really get the deep down aspect of parenting. And so I think some people may think that they're doing a good job. Well, I got kids, yada yada yada, and they passing that off as advice when it's not really what's the word I'm looking for? It's not actionable advice.
Exactly. And to share some background on my childhood, I got my last whooping at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, Honcho, when I tell you this ass whooping was one to remember.
Shit. Oh, you said 16?
But yeah.
Okay.
So this is 2 years after I made the unfortunate choice to join the gang.
Yeah.
My mama found out, and she checked me out of school. Wait, no. First she came to my class, and I'm like, everybody looking at me weird. I'm like, what y'all looking at? I'm handing out papers. It was like, hey, bro, who was that? I'm like, what y'all mean? I turned around, I don't see nobody. By this time, she had stepped outside. So I go outside. My mom was asking me where your gang memorabilia, where your flags. Not memorabilia. Where your gang, where your flags at? What is this and that? And I'm like, man, look, they at the house. So she was like, oh, they at the house. So she walked me out of school, and I was going to Eisenhower at this time. She walked me out of school. hitting me in my head the whole fucking time. Mind you, it's the bell is rung. People can see this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Took me home. Now she had these switches. You know, it was a weeping willow tree outside. She had these couple switches. She braided together, basically turned that bitch into a whip.
Mm-hmm.
And then commenced to beating the shit out of me. And then when she figured that wasn't working, she put the switch down and put them hands in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something, Honcho. My mom is 4'11", 100. Well, she's about 180 pounds at this point. 180 pounds of fucking dynamite. I ain't know my mama had hands like that, bro.
Hey, adrenaline, the motherfucker, man. Adrenaline is a
I
game
didn't,
changer.
but you know, one of my friends got a hold to it, and they told their parents, and they was like, "Oh, that's child abuse. That's child abuse." And you know, as I got older, I was like, you know, at the time, I hated it. I'm like, how you gonna do this to me? But you know, I didn't fully understand the implications that I put and the danger that I put my family in by me claiming this, by me being a part of this institution, I should say. And you know, that's one of the best memories of my mom I have. She beating the shit out of me, but that's one of the best memories I have of my mom because, you know, later on down the line, I can actually say I learned a real lesson. So, you know, what people define as discipline and child abuse is something totally different. And, you know, my mom allowed us to call her by her first name, which is Renita, but we shortened it down to Neat. And, you know, this ties into the topic. A lady from church was like, "Oh, how you let that boy call you by your first name? That's just so disrespectful." But yet her child called her mom, but called her a bitch every chance he gets. So it's like, you know, your son called you mama, but my kids got put so much respect behind my first name than he do calling you mom. So who really doing a great parenting job?
That's what I'm saying. And again, perception is a motherfucker, man. Yeah, that's the thing with me. I'm a yes sir, no sir person. So I always find it interesting when people got to call their parents by their first name. I think you get away with step parents more so than than your actual parents. I think I've seen more people get away with that. Look, Bob, you're not even my real dad, Bob. But you know, but the thing about that, but it's a beautiful story that you share that story because you got a lot of parents who know that their kids are in these activities. If they're making money, one, they encourage them to continue on if they're getting a little cut out of it. But two, that don't take the action. That's love to know that, you know, your son out there doing some shit he ain't got no business, and you go and whoop his ass for that and show that, you know, hey, you know, you still have concern for his well being. That's that. I would see that as a loving memory. I know you said that's one of the best memories that you have, but that's a loving memory because a lot of motherfuckers, oh, he's in a gang, well, kick him out, or well, we gave up on him, or he's a lost cause, you know, instead of trying to do anything to, you know, to bring you back into the fold or whatever it may be, you know. So I commend her for that.
And you know, with just like you said, just being able to see that kind of love and dedication from my mom, it was like, okay, yeah, I'm out here fucking up. I mean, again, I didn't get this until I was much older in life, but at the same time, you know, a lot of things that I look back and my parents taught me and showed me, it was like, okay, you know, they did it for a reason. And you know, I try to do the same with my kids now. I am a realist, so I understand that there's gonna be some things that my children are just gonna do. That don't mean, you know, I gotta be an asshole about it. And what I mean by that is, you know, my brother, the oldest of us, you know, he got four girls, and he'll be like, oh, I don't know if my because his oldest daughter is 6 months older than mine, so they both about to be 11. So their dating age is coming up, and I'm like, I want to embrace it for the simple fact of the matter is, and I think we had a conversation on this. I would rather her come to me about these things than to hide them from me. And I just shared my opinion with my brother, and he was like, "Man, you giving your daughter permission to have sex?" And I'm like, "That's not what I'm doing. I'm giving her the opportunity to, come to me and say, 'Hey, Dad, I'm thinking about this. What should I do?'" Now, am I giving her the green light to go have sex? No, but I'm gonna make sure she's prepared, because what she's gonna do that's not in my that's out of my sight, I have no control over.
Yeah.
So with that being said, advice and parenting, again, I will take from certain people, but people like that. So I'm number 3 of 5, and the brother I was talking about that's a beating the house. He's the second. He's the second oldest. So and he has that double standard mentality. Oh, if my son has sex, it's right on, right on. But if my daughters have sex, oh, I'm putting them out.
Mm.
Like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard, because his oldest daughter isn't his biologically, but she is 15 now.
Mm.
And I'm like, so you're gonna put your 15-year-old out if she has sex, with knowing that her mother had her at 15? That's just not smart, because you're turning your back on her when she needs you the most.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, and you have to show that support system and the thing. And again, it is unfortunate that women do. It is a double standard, but I think it comes to men not having that level of understanding, and then depending on how you were raised, depending on how your interactions were with women when you were younger, the stigmas and things like that, it looks a certain way. And I think, like you say, you doing something like that, you kicking her out to the wolves, basically. Because then you allowed her to fall into multiple situations. More than likely, some other dude gonna come in and try to swoop up and put her in a bad situation. And if that turns out, then it gets to the thing we were talking about with multiple baby daddies and all that stuff. If you're not educating and you're not advising and counseling to help them make better and right decisions, you can't stop nothing. I mean, this is, especially in this day and age we live in, sex is on everything. They try to put there was some HBO show that just caught a bunch of backlash because they trying to make it's like a teen high school sex show basically. And the shit is supposed to be graphic, and like it's just a bunch of crazy stuff that's going on, and it's all in front of the kids' faces. The phones, like I say, you got access to everything. Kids are going to talk. Kids are going to do things. Kids are going to be naturally curious, and if you tell them no, 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 then they're gonna go. They're gonna go try to figure that shit out. So you just have to educate. Know that I'm a resource. Hey, if you don't understand something, I'd rather be there to give her some game than let her get played by somebody lame, and then she's stuck in a situation for the rest of her life, or something that's traumatic or whatever can happen. I don't agree with kicking them out. And again, it is a double standard. Men do benefit in that area. We talked about women not ever having to be responsible for their actions, but that's one of those double standards where women do generally take the L.
And going back to your point of you never heard women say, "Oh, it's my fault." Now, I've actually ran into women that said, I was the one that fucked up in the relationship. And out of about 10, I've ran into about 30 that's everything is the man's fault. With my situation and my daughter's mom. Now, she got 4 baby daddies. Like I said, 2 of them in jail. I'm raising those 2 little boys. And the other one, he decent, but me and him cool. But the two girls are my heart, but and the little boys, those are my little men. I'm trying to teach them not to go down their dad's, path.
Yeah.
And somehow it ain't never her fault for her having these kids. Now you got 4 kids, 4 different baby daddies.
Yeah.
And you got 4 different baby daddies, and somehow all of them ain't shit. All of them ain't shit, but you got one that'll take care of the ones that's not it.
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, me and her didn't have the best relationship when we were together. But I have to constantly remind her that you walked out on me. I didn't tell you to leave. You left. And to be honest, she was like, "Oh, I want to explore my options." So she ended up with a nigga, and then she ended up with a female after that. Then she married a female, and now the female taking care of everybody's kids, not and
Bought all the polos from
somehow,
the store.
yeah, and somehow the female is the bad guy in this situation now. Oh,
Mm.
now you trying to control me. And I'm like, at what point are you going to realize it ain't everybody else, it's you?
Yeah. Yeah. But I think people that are
But,
like that, because I say a thing about people who are like habitual offenders or people who always end up, they never realize it. And I think part of that is when they're not held responsible at a young age. And they believe think about the kids who used to always be suspended or always at ISS or all that, something happened. It was always something else that made them do that. It wasn't them. It was never their fault that it happened. Niggas who repeatedly continue to go to jail, go to jail, go to jail over and over. Oh, it's because, if this wouldn't happen, it's not because of the actions that I took to put me in that situation repeatedly. It's because somebody else's fault and somebody else. It's never them. And so I feel sorry for those people the most because those are the least powerful people. And what I mean by that, I believe that responsibility is power. I think that when you that's control, and when you saying when you're delegating your power to other people, saying, "Oh, well, it's your fault or this somebody else's fault," that's saying you lack power, you lack responsibility, you lack control of your own life, and you don't even realize it. And that's why you continue to blame everybody else for the shit that you do.
exactly. That's just, to me, that's just having a weak mentality to me. You're a weak-minded person. If you have to delegate blame and relegate blame to other people, then well, that says a lot about where you are in life and where you going in life. I don't think you're gonna get very far with that mentality. And that kind of ties back into the black culture. Well, I ain't gonna say culture. Oh, and I wanted to speak on that real quick. I didn't get a chance to call in that night, but you said what is our the black culture versus the black mentality. To be honest, I don't think we have a culture,
I
but
agree.
that's something we can deep dive later.
Yeah.
But back on the
We,
on
we,
the
we like
topic,
we just like the damn Texas. We ain't got no damn culture.
man. Speaking of them, I don't want to win another game. Lose out, get this man the hell up out of the city. I will buy the plane ticket and FedEx his bags to him.
Mm. Mm.
Nigga, you ain't gotta go to your office. You ain't gotta do nothing. Don't even move out your house. I will pack it up and send it to you.
Look, you don't have no business against these Colts. Look, it better be a pink slip waiting on it. Look, don't even just stay right here, Bill. Just go ahead and do an on the field interview. And when he try to get back in that office and he try to jimmy that key in there, that bitch don't work. They need to have a locksmith on site. Lock that nigga out. That shit was terrible. I'm sad. I don't even want to think about it.
But
Terrible.
yeah, if we lose to the Colts, then don't even win another game. Deshaun Watson faking injuries. Go ahead and go home. Just don't play another game.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as advice from other parents or people that don't have kids, it depends on what your life decisions are. Like if I could look at your life and say, "Oh, you've made good decisions, so you probably have an idea of what you're talking about." Cool. But if I'm looking at your life and you got a bunch of kids and you still live at home or you live with your with a relative and like you just making bad life decisions, but because you got 80 kids, you think you're a good parent? Nope, I don't want to hear the shit. Just like I would never take, and that same little brother I was talking about, I would never take marriage advice from him. I can't take marriage advice from a person that's been divorced. I can't do it.
I see y'all in there beefing. I don't know what y'all in there beefing about. We're gonna get to y'all whatever beef y'all got going on there in just a minute. See, and it's funny. It's super funny because I believe it was Miss Bell who said that when the women in the den get to having a issue, that the men just step back and let it go. And see, Miss Bell was right again. Look.
Right now.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. What is going on with Jess Sarah and Angela? What is going down? But yeah. So we just it'll all get resolved here shortly. Okay. Anything else that's on your mind there, Dakota?
Nah, that's pretty much it. And you say beef night Tuesday?
Tomorrow night. Beef night is tomorrow night. The den debate line will be open tomorrow night. If you got some issues with something somebody has said or somebody because they exist, tomorrow's your time to call them out, handle it, or make sure that they in the den tomorrow.
All right, cool. I just want to put this out there. I ain't gonna never call nobody out, but if you call me out, hey, I'll accept all challenges.
Okay. Already. See, you want all the smoke. If y'all feeling froggy, then jump.
Yep, that's pretty much what I'm saying.
Already, that's a bet, Dakota, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and hopefully we're gonna see what's gonna shake tomorrow.
All right.
That's
Take it easy.
All right, you too. Okay. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
You shouldn't even say that when you know who's calling in.
Look,
Just be like Miss Me calling in right now.
No, because
Just be like Miss Me calling in right now.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because
Ed,
it takes the fun out of it. You get to announce yourself.
Ed.
It leaves a little bit of suspense for the people in the chat, and they can be like, okay, well, let me see who next. Who could be next? And so if I just say, oh, it's Miss Me, they're like, oh, okay, Miss Me coming up, and they're like, oh, it's Angela. Rise up, no, rise up, and then that takes the fun out.
No, I'm not even doing it. I'm not. See, I haven't even done that yet.
I wouldn't either.
But I'm going to address your topic first. I'm going to address it.
Okay.
You said parenting advice from someone with no kids. So I told y'all I was at the hospital. Someone's having a baby. So my sister thought, they diagnosed her with that she wasn't going to have any kids. But I told her it was just with the wrong man. So that's who had a kid yesterday. Was my sister who the doctor said she couldn't have any kids. But now she's 41 with her first child. But before that age, she has been babysitting and keeping me and the other sister's kids for years. So yes, she can give advice because she babysitted them from babies on up. You see what I'm saying? So just because she wasn't a mother, she could still give advice because she babysat a lot of goddamn nieces and nephews, straight up. Like, not just babysitted, like, was up at the schools. Like, she was second on the list. If they called her, she was up at the schools and this and that. So she could, I believe she could give advice on this. I don't know if she has ever has. I'm just saying by our experience that she could have. Because for years and years, she has been, like, raising her nieces and nephews. You see what I mean? So I believe she knew about that and could have it. Now, let me address the situation at hand. I don't give a fuck about no beef tomorrow and all this shit because I told you I can't do it. This is just a Sarah person. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Okay, I just happen to be going back looking at some of the streams I missed from you. I support you, Ed. I support you, Ed. So whatever I miss, I'm gonna go back and look. I'm gonna go back and look, and I'm gonna read the chat. I'm like, what the fuck? This bitch is all like, what? I don't bother nobody. Why are you? Why is you talking about me like this? Okay, so I said, well, that's a troll. All right, troll, because you don't know me. You don't know me. But then you was talking about all kind of stuff like you know me. Girl, bye. Call in. How about that?
What was it specifically
How about
that?
you, Sarah? Call in tomorrow. Hold on, Ed. Hold on, Ed. Hold on. How about just Sarah? Call in tomorrow and tell me why were you saying them things about me when you don't know me? Like, I don't say things about people when I don't fucking know them because I don't know them. It's the internet. Like, and then you want to respond like that because I respond like that to you in the chat? Girl, bye. Girl, bye. I don't know who. Okay, so like, I try to keep, like, I woosah, and I try to keep myself calm these days because of what I'm trying to heal from, and I'm not finna even speak on it because people who know, who I've been here for months, know what I've been through, so I'm not even gonna speak on that. So I don't get into it with people. I don't beef with people. But some of the things she was saying in previous chats, like, oh, really? Bye, girl? Like, why? Like, that's how you know it's a troll. Because if someone never did anything to you, I don't even know who that is. Who the fuck is that? Like, I don't even know who that is, but you saying all these things? That's thirsty. That's what you call thirst. That's the thirst term. That's thirst. Because I don't even know who the fuck that is. Like, seriously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you have a lot of trolls in your channel. And I get it. Most of the trolls we see and we know, but I don't have no idea who the fuck that is or to be speaking on me like that. Like, I never did anything to that person.
Okay, so
I never said anything. I don't put people down in your chat. I don't do that. Like,
let's cover a couple of things real quick. Let's cover a couple of let's cover a couple of things real quick. So first, what was it that was said that didn't sit well with you?
On like 2 or 3 streams you had?
Yes.
Well, I would have to take a screenshot and send. Well, I did take a screenshot, but I would send it to you. But my thing is, I don't know this person. I never even seen this person in anyone's chat, but yours. Like, never. Never. So, do you think this shit is not gonna come undressed? Like,
Who getting undressed?
Like,
who getting undressed?
The just Sarah person thing, lady thing, man. I don't know. Is it a man or a woman? I don't know. It's it. Because I don't know who it is.
Here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to.
Don't know.
This is what I'm trying to understand. Just Sarah has been with the Den for quite some time. Just Sarah had a very, how do I want to put this? A call that changed the Den kind of into what it is today. And
if I don't know just Sarah, I don't know the Den. Like, see, that's the difference between y'all and me. I'm not petty like that. Like, even if that person was in the chat, I don't get into it with people, so I don't give a fuck. Like, I know Heidi, I know Professor Trill, I know Prepaid Mike, I know Brandon, I know other people, but I just don't know, like, because I don't pay attention like that. But this person felt the need to personally attack me. Why?
And that's what I'm trying to. And that's what. That's what I'm trying to figure out what the personal attacks were.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in the Den that I haven't really noticed, but it's not nothing. But why did you feel the need to personally attack me? Why? Because I call in. Because Honcho mentions my name. I don't get it. That's got to be the only reason, because I never even recognized this person. Like, I never. And when I was going back reading the chats, I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this person? What the? I don't even know why. Why? Tell that person to say why. And then don't type it in the chat, ho. Call in and say why you have a problem with Miss Meat. And when Miss Meat, Angela, has not done anything to you or even never recognized you. What? See, that's what I be talking about with this social media shit.
But so this is my thing.
That's what
Because I like I say, I'm curious. That's I try to be a peaceful resolver. And so my thing is this,
yes,
right?
You do.
So here's my thing, right? As long as y'all don't go Maria on me, we all good. That's a whole nother story. But okay, so you have an issue. How about this, right? I don't know if Miss Jessera will agree to it.
Let me tell you this much though. That savage Donald Trump dude, man, the other day on that chat, Jesus, I just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I do to I don't even know who Jessera is. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? I don't. That shit is ridiculous to me. Like, to me, no, and to me, that's just like, okay, when you are doing personal attacks on people you don't know, what's your underlying issue? What color is this lady? That's all I'm trying to say. Because she don't have no other reason, or he, or it, or whatever the fuck it is, don't have no other reason to be personally attacking me. Like, because I have never personally attacked nobody in this chat. Never.
So you're saying because of the color, that's why she's attacking?
I don't. What else is? I don't know.
Are we the same color?
I don't know this person.
Are me and you the same color?
Me and you is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know, sir.
So why would color be the reason
I
for
don't know
attacking? If she supports the dead and she likes the dead.
I don't know. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm just saying. I'm not saying don't listen, Ed. I'm not talking about your den.
No, this is what this is. But I'm just trying to get to the root because I'm trying to figure out what the personal thing.
Me.
Okay, how about this? How about tomorrow? If Miss Jessera wants to call in, and you want to call in, then we
She's a coward.
This, and
You're a coward.
We will. Okay.
Call in, ho.
Okay. Well, do you agree to
Do you agree
to call in?
Call in, ho.
Do you agree to call in?
Ho. Call in and tell me what your personal problem is with me, Miss Meat / Angela. Tell me.
Do you agree to call? Okay. How about we're going to resolve this?
Like, I don't even know.
Do you agree to call in tomorrow?
And don't tell me I ain't been supportive then, because I don't know every little person that don't call in and don't say nothing. I don't fucking know this person. I just don't. I promise you. I don't know this person.
All I'm saying is...
That doesn't mean I don't support the den.
Angela.
I support the den in every fucking single way. So, why would you personally attack me? I don't know.
Miss Angela.
That's all I want to know.
Okay, but Miss Angela.
I'm looking at this like, who the fuck is this person?
If you agree to call in tomorrow, and Miss Sarah agrees to call in tomorrow, we can get to the bottom of this.
Not he or she or
but you can't control that.
Or morphodike or whatever the fuck it is, I ain't gonna do it.
You can't control that. I can't control that. But do you, if they agree to call in, do you agree to call in?
Man, listen.
That's all I'm saying.
I want them to. I want it to call in, because I don't know what it is. I mean, it could be anything. It call in tomorrow and tell me what I done to you. That's what you do.
Like I said.
Because see what y'all ain't been noticing, what y'all have not been noticing. You go back and look at your chat. Oh, okay. Y'all will see. Y'all will see what that bitch about.
I think me personally, from my observations, Miss Sarah is
you're the channel holder. You know, it doesn't matter.
An equal opportunity employer. But no, this is what I'm saying though. From what I observed, Jess Sarah is an equal opportunity employer. Just about everybody gets to smoke. So my thing is,
but I didn't do anything to it.
But it's a lot of people who call in and nobody knows, but people just go in on just because it's nothing personal. It's just something that happens in the den. But like I said, let's both call it.
It's just fucking trolling. It's fucking trolling. We're going to call it like it is. It ain't nothing personal. How can anything personal be on the internet, Ed? There's nothing personal on the internet. It's just fucking trolling, point fucking blank.
I got some personal stuff on the Pornhub, but that's another conversation.
It's not personal. It can't be. It can't be personal when you don't know that person. Personal person. Personal person. It can't be personal when you don't know that person.
Okay. Like I said, let's both call in tomorrow. I want you to have your screenshots.
It's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
All you gotta do is show up. But if you don't, look, here's the thing though. But if you show up and she don't, then who wins? You win, right? Then
I don't want to win.
But you were proven right. If that happens, you were proven right. Miss Just Sarah said that she'll show up, that she'll call in.
It's not even about that. I'm proven right now because I don't even know who that person is.
But what I'm saying is we can resolve this. We can all get on the phone. We can resolve this. Y'all can discuss this with each other.
$1. If everyone against her is a troll, why is SHE so triggered?
Because
a show, but there's nothing to resolve.
But it's not about. It's not even about making a show. But it's about when you argue. But when you argue back and forth between chat and it's harder to take things in context and other things. So like I said, if there was something specific that was said, jot it down or whatever, screenshot it or whatever. Miss Sarah agreed to call in.
I hope I hype it up too. I hope I hype whatever it is up. Call in. Call in. Like if you don't call in, your credibility is shot. So call in tomorrow. Call in and say what Miss Me did to you. For you to be talking like that about her when she don't even know. Like I never even recognize the name. So what the fuck? I never even recognize the name. What the fuck? Come on.
Okay.
Call in. If you don't call in, hey.
Coulter donated $1. If you run your mouth like an idiot, your credibility is shot.
You don't call in tomorrow, yeah. Do it, ho.
Just Sarah donated $5 through Super Chat. Keep each time calling you with booger.
Look. She's donating, saying stuff because people gonna read it. No, ma'am. No, little mama.
Like I said, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're going to do.
Call in and say what your problem is, little shawty.
We're going to.
Cause you don't have none.
We're gonna have a call tomorrow. We're all gonna get on the line.
People just live their life on being fucking trolls. Like why? Like, oh, I get it. Probably no man at home, no dick. Probably got, I get it, honey. Like, you could pay for dick. Like, for real, you can go to the strip club and get you some dick, and you'll feel much happier. Like, for real. Like, you'll be happier in your life. Just go find you some dick. Because you don't even know me. Like, I'm looking at these old shit. I'm looking at this shit like, what the fuck? Wow. I don't get into it with people in here. I don't talk about nobody. I don't put people down. I don't do none of that. But you had all that to say about me. So, y'all want to see Miss Meat one time on her other side? Call in, just Sarah. Let's do it, honey. Let's do a boo-boo kitty. Let's do a sugar. Let's do a shouty. You want to do it? We can do it. Because I did nothing to you. I did nothing to anybody in here.
Baby,
like y'all,
do it.
Nothing.
Time, do it right.
Right. Hey, it is what it is.
Look, man, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a shake tomorrow on the Den Debate.
Y'all want to see a show? Yeah. And listen, if just Sarah don't call in, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Okay. Call in, boo-boo.
Okay, we're gonna do it tomorrow night. Now, look, y'all.
Can't definitively, it can't definitively say what the problem is with me. Like, that's the first time I noticed the name when I was looking at the replays, and I was looking at the chat. I'm like, who is this bitch? What the fuck?
It's just Sarah.
Oh, okay, just Sarah.
But all I'm saying is this, look.
We know you now. That's what you wanted, Boo Boo Kitty. You wanted somebody to say your name.
Here's
Want
the deal.
somebody to say your name? Okay, well, we said your name. So now make sure you call in. Make sure you call in tomorrow. Ed, I will be traveling. So can you please text me and let me know when the show is happening?
Okay.
So I can call in. And I'm telling you on live, I give full approval. You know how you say type in the chat? If you give approval, just call me, shout it.
Okay.
I give it.
Okay. It's been confirmed. We will have a discussion tomorrow.
Yes, it has. Let's see if you call in, little mama. Let's see if you call in, because I don't even know you. I don't even know. I don't do nothing to nobody. But Ed, anyway, off of that, because it's minor shit.
Melindan was donated $2. Ich stand with him as meet.
Your little phone line janky as fuck.
Well, why I gotta be janky, man? Why I gotta be all that?
But did you see my text? Did you see my text?
No, because I don't have my phone on me. Because I either have to pull up the web.
No.
But
on a serious note, I had typed something in the chat earlier. A serious question to you. So, with you and the missus, like, splitting up or whatever, I hate to see people split up. But with you being around a daughter and being a father figure, you're not scared that she might get somebody else that maybe like the people you're talking about? Are you gonna remain in your daughter's life?
I'm absolutely being alive. Yeah, man. Like I say, that's the little one. So I'm gonna make sure that that's something that won't change.
Good.
She'll have it all access
because
to me if she need me.
Yeah,
that's not gonna change. Like just because other things are different. I had to talk to her about. It's not your fault. It's nothing that you did. Don't feel any particular way.
Right.
I don't feel anything different to you. So. No, nothing to change with that. That's like mine. Like I said,
because girls are sensitive and girls are sensitive, and if they don't have a man, a good father figure man in their life, no matter who it be, things could turn out different for her. So, I don't know, and I'm not getting in your business, but I know you cared about it because on live you kept her when she was out of school and things like that. So hopefully you remain some kind of positive figure in her life to know, well, I can call Ed and ask him this, even though he's not with my mom.
Yeah.
Or I can call Ed and tell him that my mama's new boyfriend is doing this. You feel me?
No, that ain't gonna
because
happen.
see, that's one thing like women were lacking.
That'll never happen. That'll
just
never be a word.
I'm trying to be honest with the men.
Like I said, we had that conversation. Just told
right,
her,
that's good.
Because she thought it was something was her fault. She thought it was something that she did. I'm like, nah, it ain't got nothing to. It ain't got nothing to do with her.
Right.
It's just adults make decisions, and I don't feel any differently about her. I'll still always be a father figure. She need me for anything. I'm always here. She know how to call me. So it is what it is.
But what I'm saying is, just make sure she knows. Just make sure she knows that she can call somebody else for anything besides her mom. Because as a woman, sometimes we can't tell our mom things. But if she knows she got someone else to call, then that makes it better. That makes our force stronger. Like, she got to know she has someone else to call. You feel me? Because, I remember the story that you said about her dad, but just, long as she has someone else to call, because all the time, women don't say everything they want to their mom. They don't. So she may not want to tell her mom something, may want to tell you something. You feel me? So I don't know your situation. I don't know, but I know from what we've been watching you that you've been active in your life.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's good. It's just that, you don't have to be a biological parent to be a parent.
Correct.
You don't have to be.
I agree.
So, I reckon, that's good. That's good. So, for what you're saying, it's peaceful.
Yeah.
If you can't work it out, ain't no sense in arguing and fussing and all that kind of shit. It's better to be friends. Like, my kid's father's like one of my best friends. We haven't messed around in 20 years, but 20-something years. But That's one of my best friends. You see what I mean? So, and, you know, he's always looked out for the kids. You know, even with my husband. So I've never really been a single parent. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. And tomorrow, Heidi, you so tired, so petty. You know what? I can't even hate her. 'Cause she's so fucking petty. Like, she's so fucking petty. I can't, like, the pettiness is what intrigues me about Heidi. Like, I can't even hate her. 'Cause she's so fucking petty. She is. Like, she is getting started. Like, she gonna pour that gasoline on the fire. Like, let's do it, bitch.
Yeah, you know, this is just Heidi's one of a kind.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. But like I said, I can't hate her. She's something else.
Nah, she all right. She
So,
all right.
yeah. I'm about to be getting some rest. I've been up for this baby. Like, it was such a high-risk pregnancy, and she thought she'd never have kids, and I'm just so happy she did. I'm just so happy. But what I said a long time ago was that wasn't the right person, which was her ex-husband. That wasn't the right person. I mean, it'll come when it comes. I'm glad I got me.
Blame the men again.
I got me a new niece.
See how y'all do? Just blame the men for everything.
What you say, huh?
No, I wouldn't say nothing. I said congratulations on the new niece. That's what I'm saying.
No, that ain't what the fuck you said, but I. All right.
Already.
I'll holler at y'all tomorrow.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call,
All
Miss Lee.
right. Good night, too.
Good evening. All right. Just W appreciate the love. Melinda Anubis appreciate the love. Sarah appreciate the love. So y'all forcing me into an extended in. I gotta get up and run in the morning. Or power walk jog. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got on the line this evening?
Hello, this is Rashida. What's up?
Hello, Miss Rashida. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Honcho?
I'm doing quite well. Quite well. Chip chip cheerio. What's on your mind this evening?
Kenneth Fitzgerald donated $5. Goldmate.
As you know,
That
I don't
lady
have
needs
kids,
prayer.
So I don't really know if I can participate in the topic discussion.
But see, Miss Rashida, don't you quite frequently you quite frequently don't you take care of a couple of your nephews, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been doing that since they were very small.
Yeah, so I would say that you possess the skill to. I say you should have input. Then I believe you have the skill and the say so, the right to justify your knowledge.
Oh, but that doesn't matter to people. My experience doesn't matter. It's just the fact that I don't have any kids.
I understand.
Mm-hmm. But that's complete bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff when it comes to kids is just pure common sense. And a lot of times people don't want to take your advice because they don't agree with it. You know what I mean? So they try to say, oh, you don't understand because you're not a parent. No, you just don't agree with my opinion and you can't deflect it. So you want to go to use the fact that I don't have any kids as an excuse why you can't say good advice. Period.
Yes,
It's the same thing with married people talking about, I don't want to take advice from a single person. Well, your marriage already in trouble. Shit, if a person's single and got divorced, they could be telling you things that went wrong in their marriage. So hopefully you can learn something from it so you won't go down the same road.
Correct.
But people don't look at things like that.
This is true. A person with experience can oftentimes, provide advice. Sometimes, like we say, you could talk to a crackhead. Now, you don't want their advice on how to save money, but you do want their advice on what not to do, because they can definitely be a crash course in how not to fuck it up. Of course, you wouldn't ask them to look after your children or your funds or your 401k or anything of that nature. But as far as hey, well, what mistakes did you make in life that you regret? first thing they're going to say is smoking crack, but but you know what not to do. They can be a person can give you advice on what not to do. It's not always advice on what to do, but they can tell you, people can tell you what to avoid. You know, so I think that that's a legitimate thing too. So if you don't, you may, some people I know, and the people are like that with the single people too.
People, look, I look at it like this. I don't just go around offering my advice. I'm not super nanny or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Thinking I can just come in and tell people how to raise their kids perfectly or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you ask my opinion, I'm going to give it to you. But if you don't want my opinion, that's fine too.
Yeah. Dre, if you need crack in a hurry, they'll tell you they can get it for you. That crack ain't coming back. You're going to see him leave with the money, but they ain't coming back with it. But here's
I see that a lot of people in the chat were calling Miss Nita hood booger, and I would like to really know what that is, because I don't really understand that term.
A hood booger, that's also pretty new to me. I don't think I've ever heard that one before. I'm assuming it would be urban nostril crust. That's about as good as I've got. But yes, Brod's going there playing with fire. But my thing is this, man. My thing is this, right? The way I look at it is this, that I think that it's right and it's wrong, because I think there are certain aspects of, even like Miss Misty called it, you know your kids best. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But there are certain things, and I guess to implement myself, but I think there's certain things, if you've had an experience. So let's say, and this is what I say, where the conversation started with me and my friend, is you're raising two boys, but you were raised in a 2-parent household, so you don't realize the value of having a good father figure. And so because of your personal issues with their father, you got a lot of negativity and all of that. And I'm explaining that, hey, well, what you don't understand, because you're not a man or you're not a boy, and your parents are always there, so you don't understand what the absentee situation is like, is those boys long to be with their father. It doesn't mean they love you any less, but it's just a part of being a man that you want to know your dad. I mean, it just is what it is. If he was trash, and you hopefully you don't end up like him, but if he was a good man, then it is what it is. But you can't take your personal experience, because he moved on and went on and did something else and is with somebody else or whatever else is going on. Whether he was good to you or not, it doesn't matter. It's about what he's doing for those kids and what he's doing now. Even if he was absent early on and he's trying to be a part of their lives now, then you allow him that. Exactly. But now, when it comes to, if I was to sit here and try to tell you, well,
and that's where a lot of women go wrong too, because they say, oh well, I don't want to take a chance that he's not gonna. Ain't nobody perfect, you know what I'm saying? Your parents are who they are, you know what I mean? If he come around today, he don't come around tomorrow, it is what it is. You leave that up to the kids to decide to cut him off. Yeah. Because he will forever blame your ass for the reason why he didn't have no good relationship with his child.
Exactly.
He's going to tell that child that the mother interfered with him being able to see his child. And if you telling him he can't come around, then you are interfering.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like I say, and you let those kids have that access. And if he talk to them and tell them he gonna show up and he don't, and he doesn't do his end of the bargain, the kids know that. They're not gonna blame you for that. They're gonna realize, okay, well, Pops was a piece of shit, But if he does what he says he's gonna do and he shows up when he's supposed to.
That's one thing I don't understand about parents, I guess, because I'm not a parent, is why they don't realize their kids are smart. Yeah. And they'll see that on their own, and the distance they feel from that on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you don't have to tell your child their father or mother ain't shit. They know it.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids have unconditional love.
Yeah, some of them.
You know what I'm saying? They love their parent in spite of their flaws. You know what I mean? Like some people had crackhead mamas and crackhead dads, but they still love shit like their parents.
Yeah, and definitely, I know some person, and they put them in some bad situations, did them bad, stole from them, but they still.
You know what? I wanted to tell everybody, leave Miss Meat alone. Miss Meat, she good people. And I'm also want to tell Miss Me. I'm gonna tell Miss Me, you can't take this shit serious. I used to get mad at people and do this and that and go off and call in and go into ranks on certain people and stuff. You see, I don't even do that no more. Cause it is some trolls out there, but I don't see Sarah as no troll, so I don't even know what really happened with that situation. I guess I'll wait till tomorrow to see that. But what else I was gonna say? Yeah, don't take that shit personally with me. Whatever they say today, they'll be done forgot tomorrow. So you know it is what it is. And people that I done had run-ins with, I get that shit one day at my time. After that shit a wrap. You see, I don't even mention the people I don't like no more.
Yeah.
I done moved on from them. They bring my name up, then I readdress them. But as far as just bringing them up, they don't deserve your time. You know what I'm saying? You just let that shit go.
Right.
That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah. See, you wouldn't say that when Jay Dizzle pulled up on you though.
But you know what? I ain't perfect now. First time I might backslide, you know what I'm saying? I ain't all the way where I could be, you know. But yeah, getting all mad and emotional, nah. Now I say that today, and tomorrow I'll be on somebody's ass. So, you know, I don't know. Anyway.
Is it finally? She says every day. I don't know if I can trust it. Man, I agree, man. You can't let the internet thing. That's why I say usually when them trolls and stuff have to just pop up in here and everything. Like let them ride because I don't really.
And if you got to block people, you got to block them, and keep it moving. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Block and go.
You can't take none of that shit personally, man. Like trust me. Like I said, my thing is especially because I can't touch you, and I'm not finna get angry about it. Now I say all these things, but to sit here to say negative, if it was a situation where this was a physical encounter and it was happening, I can't say that I don't honestly be as calm, and collected. But I know behind the camera, I'm not finna get all riled up and be looking crazy. So it is what it is. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's the thing.
Somebody said that, you know, sometimes you going through things in your life and then something happened and you put all your energy, direct all your anger energy into that, which really wasn't that serious. And sometimes I think that's what happens too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's kind of like we was making reference to that when you know that parents who whoop their kids, sometimes they add their other frustrations out in them ass whooping. So yeah, sometimes like I say, you just you got to compartmentalize, and that's something I've been working on too. I've been reading this this book. It's actually pretty interesting. I got it right here. I'm just look. I don't get no free promo for this, but when I come across good books, I try to recommend them. It's dirty. Don't ask me about a book. It's dirty. I lost the cover to it somewhere. It's in when I moved, but it's called Principles by Ray Dalio, and he was the manager of I believe Blackwater, Edgewater. I can't remember the name of the shit right now, but it was a multi-billion-dollar. I'm gonna say like mutual fund.
You right, Kenneth. Kenneth, you are completely right. People they get their life ended over petty, dumb situations. You know what I'm saying? Like when people on Facebook just be talking and then want to meet up with each other and fight, and people end up getting killed. It don't even be worth all that. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you just got to just block and go. Like I said, block and go.
Like I say, it was yeah. Like I say, I ain't gonna lie. I think the other day I got annoyed with somebody, some random, and I was actually after the stream I was kind of mad at myself. I was like, I put a little bit too much energy behind that. I won't do that again. But yeah, man, like I say, you really can't give it to
yourself from being human. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can't always be that peace. Sometimes you got to get that anger out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get it out and let it go. Because if you keep that anger, want to play every situation cool, then the anger is gonna build up in you.
And then I think you got to look at it. You got to understand too the culture of the den. People at the den.
Right.
It don't matter what you do. You could be the nicest.
Don't know people of the den like that, though.
You could be the nicest, sweetest person. Then folk is gonna find a way to get on your ass. You could call in and say the most logical shit. You could call in with the meaning of life.
How I've been trolled in the den, and I'm still here. People thought they ran me off, and I'm still here.
But
And I see the people that was trolling me, and you know what I do? I keep on moving. I don't say shit to them. They don't say shit to me, and that's just how I like.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I agree. Like I say, it's just it is what it is. Like I said, we'll get this thing resolved properly. And
it's probably just a misunderstanding. That's all.
That's what I'm believing, and that's why I say I think with sometimes a little bit of conversation to put things in context, things can easily be resolved. And I think that's the problem that we have in the world nowadays is the lack of communication. People react instead of communicate. And it can be a thing because it could be you could perceive something some way. And we have a filter in our heads that automatically perceives things a certain way. So we have a habit of seeing something some way or whatever. We're going to react to that. And then that reaction can lead to action. People going to respond their own way. And then it becomes something it never had to be when, you could just sit down and say, okay, let's communicate real quick. Let's get some clarification. Now, if that's what your intent was and I read it right, then we can fight. Or we can do whatever. We can handle it however it needs to be. But if it was just a misinterpretation, hey, you know what? Well, my bad. I saw it this way. Well, my bad. I didn't, clarify or whatever it is. We shake hands. We walked away.
It was probably just a difference of opinion that went wrong. That's probably all it was, really.
Yeah. Like I say, we'll find out. Like I say, we'll get. I'm not sure which stream it is. I'm not again. Like I say, we'll figure it all out. Like I say,
but Miss Meat, I'm not really trying to throw nobody into the bus, but it was more than her that was talking about you though, and that's all I'm saying.
Just throw the whole den under the bus, huh? Okay.
You know how I do, but yeah. I don't know why y'all turned against Miss Meat. Miss Meat just opinionated. That's it. I don't know.
That's all I'm trying to.
Miss Meat, let me tell you, Miss Meat. The best thing you could do is not try to fight all these people. Don't even use your energy because it's too many of them. Because I see about 8-9 people in the den against you.
You gotta save all that energy to fight me.
You just got to know when to fold them. You know what I'm saying?
Look, no, see, because we got to fight. I need a daily fight with Miss Meat. The den ain't complete until I fight with Miss Meat.
No, I really don't want to see no beef between her and Sarah because I like both of them.
But that's what I'm saying. I want to get some.
Sarah knows she's one of my favorite people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, like I say, I think once we can, that's why I say I just want to get on the call because again, when you're trying to communicate via the chat, if you got energy and anger, if we can both come to the table without trying to.
You can shut the fuck up because I definitely don't like your ass. You always got something to say. You don't never call in. You just fucking annoying. That's one of the trolls, Miss Meat, you should have got on his ass. Remember when he called you a nigga? Remember that? You let that shit go. You shouldn't have let that shit go. That's the one you should have brought to the damn den fight. Yeah, let's talk about that since you want to be up in the chat talking that bullshit. Let's get back on that. I ain't never forget that. Now what? That's what I thought. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, y'all. Culture called Miss Me a nigga. Hell yeah, he did it. He didn't mean it with the 8. Bitch ass.
I'm glad.
You know what? Oh, I see the coming back.
That's what I'm saying. I'm laughing because the counseling session it just took a turn.
This one went left. Y'all excuse me. Shit. I told y'all I was working on things. I done did everything I told her not to do. Okay. Well, Honcho, it was nice talking to you.
Well, Miss Moshita, it was also very pleasant talking to you, and I'm glad that you called in and shared your thoughts. Your thoughts on parenting and your insights for Mrs. Meat, and I appreciate your call as always.
All right, you take care.
All right, good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Jack, we hit the 3-hour mark. Look, I fucks with y'all, but I got to get a decent amount of rest before we slide. I don't know if Prepaid did. I know I said I would hit him up. He probably like, man, I ain't fuck with these niggas. These niggas got the line jumping. There's too much going on. Shit, McVice, I say the same shit. That nigga just, Scotty turned on me. He turned heel. Yes, we will give an official. I don't know, Heidi is like the birthday that cried wolf. You know what I'm saying? Because every day somebody has a birthday. Heidi says their birthday, and then when it's really her birthday, you're like, is it really her birthday? Should we give her a happy birthday? But happy birthday to Heidi. Heidi, one of the most peculiar members of the den. Interesting members of the den. Heidi's been holding down when she was the lone lady. And where is Miss Unique? Well, Miss Unique when the school be in, she don't really have time. So, but it used to be Heidi, and occasionally Miss Unique would slide in, on the weekends here and there. And but Heidi's been holding down for the lady folk for quite some time. So shout out to Miss Heidi. We appreciate you. The afternoon dens. We'll talk about that. But that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna tell y'all. Excuse me, because the Texans play on Thursday night, and I'll remind tomorrow because I know everybody's not in here. Because they play on Thursday night, we may have an afternoon den for Thursday because we won't have a late night den. Either we can have an afternoon den or y'all can just wait till
$1.
Friday.
Happy birthday, Happy. ED say in chat, but some can't as mod doesn't follow Honcho's rules and muted me.
I'm gonna get bad phlegm. I don't know where all this phlegm is coming from. Appreciate the love, culture. And shout out to 335 for the sophistication situation. So at least you super late, man. I thought Nikki motherfucking Nicole was late. You later than her. But my thing about the afternoon, like I say, Thursday, we may do one Thursday. We may do a day den on Thursday simply because like I said, Thursday night is going to be all football all the time. But with that being said, I'm trying to produce. I'm going to go to bed. I got to get up here in a couple hours. And you're going to be over there. Look, don't be over boiling out there. But we'll be here. But like I say, we'll be shaking. But I'm gonna get up here in a few. Go kill myself. I'm trying to run. I'm too fat to be running. But eventually it'll pay off, or it won't. We'll see. But with that being said, tomorrow debate den. I don't know if you want to call it Talk Shit Tuesday. Whatever. We'll come up with a name for it. But with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you. All you show love and support it. And I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about keeping the chat live, keeping the call-ins live, just those of you sending me text messages, just random words of inspiration, just various things, man. I appreciate it. Oh, yes, I was supposed to say someone's confession. I don't, my phone's over there on the charger, but if I recall, I did say I was going to read it last night. I'm glad you reminded me. And I believe, let me double check. Let me just, hold on. I'm just trying to slide in the fucking chair on the carpet. That's so fucking stupid. Let me just stand up. Craziness. Oh, give me a second. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! Fucking hey, I gotta fix my, See, this is why I don't even have my phone by me. Because look, y'all, the messages I be getting in between the day that y'all don't see. Shame on all of you. All right, I guess I can cut the camera back on, right? That helps. Voila. Make sure I read it verbatim, because I'll be adding some shit and being told a whole different story. But anonymous confession. I've never had a New Year's kiss. So, the mistletoe is Christmas, right? Yeah, I think the mistletoe is Christmas. It'll take my fucking hat off. My fucking head big. So, I don't know. What do you do on New Year's? Yes. Never had a New Year's kiss. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've had a few New Year's activities. So, there's that. But, again, I appreciate you all. I thank you all. Yes, send nudes. Absolutely. Send them to my email. But, am I recording my draw? Yes, absolutely. I have some red draws with monkeys all over them. They're my favorite draws to record in. Like right before the stream, I just put those on. I don't even care if they're dirty. I just put them back on and record. And it just makes me feel free. It just helps me loosen up. That's not true. I'm just saying some shit. Don't listen to me, especially when it get late and I start getting tired. I start saying nonsensical stuff. But I do have a pair of drawers with monkeys on them that are red. So anyway, but with that being said, man, I appreciate all of y'all. I thank y'all. It really is an honor. It really is a privilege. This y'all don't understand, because if y'all know where the den came from, and a lot of y'all do, a lot of y'all quadruple, quintuple OGs remember how some of these dens used to be, and from where it started at into where it is now, to the conversation. You one of them, Broderick? God damn it. But from where it was when it was the Kush Den and it was just a whole other breed of something going on, to now, to where it is. And again, just the conversation we have with y'all. Y'all helped me grow in a lot of ways. Y'all helped me learn a lot of things. Y'all are very insightful, and I thank each and every one of you for that. From just the different perspectives, man, and just some of the calls we've had, even though some people ain't even heard from in a minute, but I still appreciate your thoughts and hearing y'all. And sometimes I hear some of the new voices. I think the community has grown. Lots of people from different backgrounds all over the country. You know, and listen to fucking some who was that? We had the fucking old Christmas song. You need to listen to that DMX, the DMX fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. International, yes, international. The King of Canada, Mr. Dre in the building. So, yeah, and like I say, you know, it is what it is. It's a beautiful thing, man. And so I just thank y'all for that. Like I said, it is it is an honor. It is a privilege. And most of all, it is my pleasure. I look forward to doing this each and every night. And, you know, there's a little lapse there, but getting back to the nightly thing, man, I definitely enjoy it. But like I said, Thursday we'll do a day den, maybe like around noon, I'm thinking. we'll go from there. But with that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Y'all ain't got to go home. But you got to get the fuck up out of here, because I'm out. Adios. Now sticky. Man, that was only like for like 2, 3, like for a week, maybe. When I was trying to gain, I was supposed to do the mixture back on. But it wasn't that long that I was ignoring it. It was just a little bit. And then I had to switch it up.